Chapter 2181. After consuming the 9 yin and yang dan, Chen Shang immediately felt his body being struck by the medicinal power. Surprisingly, his body became extremely cold. My body has to undergo 9 transformations. Chen Shang felt that his body was incomparably cold, but he didn't feel very uncomfortable. Your body is emitting a terrifying cold energy. This 9 yin and yang dan is not simple indeed. Just as she finished speaking, S body fiercely spewed out flames. Chen Shang was engulfed in flames, but he didn't feel like anything was wrong. My body is only warm, I can still endure it. Now it's my second transformation. Yue watched from the side. Her speed of change was quite fast, which meant that her medicinal strength was very strong and her performance was very good. It was hot and cold just now. Now is righteousness, Chen Shang said. After the heat, I felt that my body had suddenly become very strong, just like an iron fist. Then, it became very soft again, like soft. Yue nodded. It's already been 4 transformations. How do you feel? She had just finished asking, when she suddenly cried out in alarm. Because she saw Chen Shang had suddenly melted, little by little, as if he was a wax that was being burned by a big fire, and turned into something on the ground. Yue was frightened, and just as she was about to do something, she melted, but Chen Shang slowly changed back into her normal form. The 6th and 7th forms have been completed. Melting and solidifying are the complete opposite. It might be the corresponding yin and yang forms. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, his body suddenly started to shrink. Seeing this, Yue's eyes turned round as she shouted in alarm, "What change is it now? I'm getting smaller." Chen Zhang's voice also became tender, and in the blink of an eye, he had turned into a very small child. After Yue saw it, she flew over happily and circled above his head. "Little guy, brat, haha, you were pretty cute when you were young, I really want to pinch you." Quote. She had already nuzzled Chen Zhang's face with her little face. "Little thing, I've just become smaller, and I'm about to become bigger. Hurry up and leave." Chen Shang laughed. After he said that, he started to get bigger again, and his body started to swell up. In a few blinks of an eye he had turned into a giant. His clothes were also swollen till they were torn apart. Previously, it was hot and cold, but now it has been melted and solidified. Now it has been changed in size. It has already changed 8 times. What is the final change? Yue was extremely curious, looking at the giant Chen Shang. The final change is, of course, metamorphosis. Chen Shang could clearly feel it himself. Sure enough, right after he finished speaking, his body suddenly turned black. At this moment, his entire body, including his eyes and hair, was wrapped in a layer of black, hard skin, as if he was burnt. My body has become stronger, and my divine sense C has already condensed this kind of qi. I can now condense my divine deity. This 9 yin and yang dan is truly powerful. Chen Shang immediately used his star shift to cultivate the spatial divine deity. Yue watched the pitch-black Chen Shang from the side, patiently waiting for him to break the shell. Suddenly, she wanted to try this 9 yin and yang dan as well. After 2 days, she suddenly heard a cracking sound, and the layer of black shell that wrapped around Chen Shang started to crack. Chen Shang shouted loudly, and shattered all of it. "Get dressed." Little Moon covered her eyes with her 2 little paws. Chen Shang laughed and anxiously put on his clothes, then said, "I have condensed a divine deity. This 9 yin and yang dan not only can condense a powerful divine deity, it can also strengthen my fleshly body. I feel that after eating the Zongpin bone level dan, I can refine it for a good 6 hours. I can go condense the bones now." Every single time Chen Shang would condense double bone level, and if he condensed 18 bones 9 times, these 18 bones would be as powerful as 20 or 30 times, which would be able to increase his strength tremendously. "Where is your divine soul?" Yue asked. "Aren't you going to give your new divine deity first?" Chen Shang laughed complacently. "No need, the 9 yin and yang dan have already been formed for me." After he finished speaking, he ate a Zongpin bone level dan. Right now, his eyes, left arm and right leg all had bones, and had already congealed 3 times. He could still condense 6 more times, but he did not know whether he would still be able to condense double bone level next. The Zongpin bone level dan's medicine had already been refined, and it took 6 hours, and it was just right. Right now he no longer had a middle-tier bone level dan, but it was easy for him to refine. He used his eyes to release the fire in his eyes and instantly formed 6 pellets. "I don't believe that I can't condense it." Chen Shang took 1 pellet, and refined the medicinal power of the pellet. The more bones he had, the harder it was to condense. He ate more than 300 pills, and after half a year, his right arm finally had a feeling. After that, he very calmly channeled all of his energy towards his right arm. After 2 days, he had successfully condensed the fourth position, the bones, at the right arm. At this time, his left and right arm already had the bones. I only have 4 bones now, how could you finish it so quickly? Yue muttered, how do we deal with your bones? Chen Shang laughed and said, I use fire as the main element, and in this heart of the earth, I am not worried about natural divine soul without fire attribute, I just need to ask Huo Lin. That's true, Yue nodded, as long as it was a strong flame divine soul. Chen Shang and Yue walked out of the time formation and left the underground secret room. Knowing that he had exited the secret room, Huo Lin hurried over. Big brother, you've only been in for less than a day and you've already come out. Huo Lin knew that Chen Shang was using a formation to cultivate, but he did not know that it was time formation. He has already stayed in that array for more than half a year. His array formation is the time formation. Yu said. Oh right, what is the background of this kitten? I always felt that you were very powerful. Huo Lin smiled as he touched Yue. You are also a beast, have you heard of cat race? Yue asked, then Earth's core divine spirit will probably give you some information, right? Otherwise, you will be a fool who doesn't know anything. Huo Lin laughed. That's right, I do have a lot of knowledge, I have heard of the cat race you were talking about before, but I do not know much about it. Chen Shang looked at Yue, this little girl whom he had grabbed over and placed in his palms. Yue, what kind of strange power do you have? Could it be the power of space? But it does not seem to be some strange power. Quote. Yue might not be able to communicate with Xingyu, but that was because she possessed the bloodline of the Star Moon divine race. HMPH, this lady is amazing. My strange power is more than enough to scare the two of you to death. Yue raised her little head and said with a very proud expression. Chapter 2182. Chen Shang had been together with Yue for a long time, recalling all sorts of strange powers she had, but none of them could scare him to death. He had admitted that Yue's abilities were not small, but now, he felt that she was exaggerating. Is it true? Why have I never seen you use that kind of frightening power before? Chen Shang laughed, his face had a look of disbelief. Chen Shang suddenly thought of Yue's other power, which was that every once in a while, the power of the stars and moon would descend upon her. This could also be considered as a strange power, but this wasn't the power of her cat race, it was triggered by the power of her bloodline, the bloodline of the stars and moon. Chen Shang thought about it carefully. Up until now, he and Yue had indeed not seen her use the power of the cat race, and she had only become a little kitten. Yue raised her head, and snorted, I won't tell you. In short, I just need to use a certain amount of divine deity to use my bizarre power. Chen Shang was truly curious, he hurriedly rubbed Yue's small belly, causing Yue to giggle and shout, you're not going to tell me, I'm going to let you keep me in suspense. Big brother, it's actually not like that. The cat race's strange powers are very mysterious and would normally not tell anyone else. Even those that you trust a lot would not tell you. Huo Lin laughed. Exactly. Yue escaped from Chen Zhang's grasp and flew over to his head. Chen Shang did not pursue the matter any further. After all, this matter concerned Yue's secret. Huo Lin, can you help me get a set of fire attribute divine soul? Chen Shang said. He had just condensed his bones and needed to integrate his divine soul. Huo Lin nodded. Of course there is. It is very easy to produce powerful fire divine soul from the core of the earth. These are the 10 fire attribute divine soul I gathered before. Chen Shang was very happy that there were suddenly 10 sets of powerful fire divine soul. To Huo Lin, divine soul was not something precious, he could go to the center of the earth to search for them whenever he had the time, and it would be very easy to find them. After Chen Shang obtained the divine soul, he immediately returned to the secret underground room and entered the time formation to cultivate. After fusing, my arms are considered to be balanced. Chen Shang had wanted to let his right arm possess bones and divine soul since a long time ago, and now that his bones was not only used to fight, it could also be of great help to him in refining pills. The bones condensed out from his right arm was also a double bone level. This time, he had fused with 2 extremely strong fire divine soul, so the strength of his right arm was slightly stronger than his left arm. The 4th condensed bones had already been completed, and next, Chen Shang ate another Zongpan Dan. This was the last pellet, and he only had one mid-grade bones pellet, while the rest were all pellet of the Shengpin bone level Dan. Chen Shang, do you really want to know what that bizarre power of mine is? Yue suddenly asked with a smile. I am indeed curious, but this is your secret. If it is leaked, it might have a great effect on you. Chen Shang said. If my enemies knew, it would indeed have a great effect, but for a bizarre power like mine, I would need 70 divine deity to use it even a little, and even a little would make me very powerful. It's just that I did not reach 70 divine deity back then, otherwise, I wouldn't have been ambushed by those fellows from the divine nations. Yue tenderly snorted. He actually needs 70 divine deity to use it. He's really powerful, Chen Shang replied. Is this innate strength? Yue nodded her head. It's innate strength. That kind of ability is mainly to make my body reflect any kind of power, and the strength it reflects will be increased by 10 times, or at most, 10 times. I should be able to reach the peak of my power. Is this for real? You've never used it before, how do you know you have this ability? Chen Shang was very shocked. This was indeed very terrifying. No matter what power it was hit at, it would always reflect back, and the highest would increase by 10 times. If she didn't know, then it would be suicide to use her strongest power to attack her. No wonder she kept this kind of ability a secret from him, but Yue telling Chen Shang now meant that she trusted Chen Shang a lot. When I was born, I already knew about my innate strength. Back then, I was only a bit away from cultivating to 70 divine deity. Yue sighed. It will take some time before I can recover. Chen Shang touched her, and laughed. I am an alchemist, it is very easy for you to become stronger if you want, but the prerequisite is that you have to wait for me to become stronger. Aren't you lacking bones? Yue nodded her head. It's rather hard for me to eat bone level Dan in Star Law Divine Realm, especially high-grade bone level Dan. Even if I can buy one, its quality is not suitable for me. In the time she had with Chen Shang, she had discovered that condensing bones could actually be that easy. It wasn't just easy for Chen Shang, even the people around him were like this. Let me refine this bone level Dan and take a look. What Chen Shang had previously eaten was also a middle-ranked bone level Dan. After condensing the fourth set of double bone level, he didn't know what kind of bones was more suitable for him. It had only been 4 hours, Chen Shang had already refined the medicinal force, and previously, before he managed to condense the fourth bones, it had taken more than 6 hours. What's going on? I only cultivated the fourth double bone level, and my body already became so strong. I didn't even feel it myself. Chen Shang was very suspicious. It's not strange, if you condense double bone level 4 times, that would make a total of 8 bones. Yu said. Chen Shang could only refine high-quality bone level Dan now. Xiaoping had given him 100 batches of Shengpin bone level Dan's medicinal ingredients, he had given Feng Yuji and the others 50 batches, and he himself had left half of them. Bone level Dan were originally easy to refine, especially for Chen Shang. He could easily refine low and middle-graded bone level Dan, so he did not feel any pressure when refining high-ranked bone level Dan. He quickly refined one furnace, and he felt that if he refined a few more batches, he would be able to use the bones in his eyes to instantly form the pellet. It was the same as the lower middle-graded one, as he could produce 6 pills while refining the Shengpin bone level Dan. Chen Shang and Yue ate 1 pellet each, and then refined the medicinal power together. Yue, can your body cultivate bones now? Chen Shang was curious about this. Of course you can. I am already in the cat race, and my cat form does not affect my ability to unleash my power, not to mention that this is my main body. Yue laughed. Let's compete to see who can condense bones first. Chapter 2183. The bone level Dan Chen Shang and Yue had eaten were of the same quality, and both he and Yue were going to undergo their 5th set of bones condensing as well, so the comparison was extremely fair. Very quickly, 6 hours had passed. Yue was the first to refine the medicinal power, but she did not trigger the opportunity to condense her bones. She giggled. Seems like you are a lot slower than me. Chen Shang frowned, and said, seems like I need 8 hours to refine the Shengpin bone level Dan's power, is my body not as strong as yours? Of course, I have been through 100 tempering, and my cat race is also a relatively strong divine beast with a strong fleshly body, although its body is quite small. Yue smiled and said, I've taken my 2nd pill. Yue used her small tongue to pick at a bone level Dan in the jade box, then opened her mouth wide to bite its owner, raising her head and swallowing it into her stomach. Just as he had guessed, it would take 9 hours. This meant that his body was simply too weak, and if his body was slightly stronger, then it would allow him to finish refining the bone-level Dan within the next 6 hours. That would be the best stage to trigger the opportunity. Chen Shang looked at Yue, who was lying on the ground. He really did not think that this little thing's body was actually stronger than him, capable of refining Shengpin bone-level Dan in 6 hours. Currently, bone-level Dan were not suitable for Chen Shang. Of course, he could also compress the quality of bone-level Dan, but that would weaken the bones that he had condensed. Only by increasing the strength of the body or the quality of the bone-level Dan would it affect the quality of the bones that were condensed. When Yue refined his medicinal strength, he refined another 2 batches of Shengpin bone-level Dan and placed them in that jade box for Yue to eat. Yue did not succeed in refining the second pellet. The further she went, the more required she would need to eat more bone-level Dan in order to trigger the opportunity of condensing bones. Hence, 2 pellets failed, and Yue felt that it was very normal. I've refined the 9 yin and yang Dan, eat the 9 yin and yang Dan, I should be able to condense another set of divine deity, and at the same time, strengthen my fleshly body. When that time comes, eating this Shengpin bone-level Dan will be very suitable. Chen Shang said. Yes, these 10 pills are enough for me to eat for a while. Yue replied. When I condense the 5th bones, I'll have to head out for a while. The power of the stars and moon will descend, and at that time, I'll be able to recover more or less of my strength. Yue's recovery was also something that Chen Shang was looking forward to very much, because once Yue recovered her strength, she would be an expert with a divine deity approaching 70. Adding that she had the 5 bones, her strength would be comparable to that of the 3rd-rank Divine King S. Chen Shang was very worried that he was the same as Shang Hongdao, who was unable to refine another 9 yin and yang Dan. Chen Shang had always been worried when he was refining the pill, but in the end, he discovered that there was no need for this worry because his progress was extremely smooth. He felt that Shang Hongdao's failure was possibly related to his refining skills. He used the heavenly alchemy, so such a thing shouldn't happen. The 3 disasters destroy flower quickly underwent 9 tribulations, transforming into Black Death aura. After throwing the merciful God fruit into it, he began to refine it and quickly entered the latter natural stage. Just like last time, when 2 divine medicines, spirit blood came into contact, he did not need to control them himself to fuse them into a pill naturally. This allowed him to once again see the natural scene of the 2 divine medicines. This time, it's going to be very fast. We'll be refining 9 yin and yang Dan in 6 hours. Yue replied, I remember that the pellet you refined previously had some kind of pill calamity, but this pellet didn't. Could it be that it's in the center of the earth, and that this is the time formation? Just as she finished speaking, a dense black cloud suddenly condensed in the space of the time formation, slashing down a strange lightning bolt that struck the divine pellet. The power of the great Tao is everywhere. There is no way to avoid it. Chen Shang laughed. But 9 yin and yang Dan are not afraid at all, and after experiencing the pill tribulation, they can be considered to have truly succeeded in condensing a pill. Chen Shang laughed. Don't let me surpass you. Maybe once I eat this 9 yin and yang Dan, my physical body will level up, and then I'll be suitable to eat high-grade bone-level Dan, and maybe I'll be faster than you. Yue tenderly snorted. I don't believe it, I'm definitely the fastest. After eating the warm 9 yin and yang Dan, Yue did not make a fuss this time because of what she had experienced previously. However, after seeing Chen Shang experience 8 other changes, she still felt that it was extremely mystical. After the final transformation of his fleshly body, Chen Shang began to condense his divine deity. This time, he wasn't condensing the divine deity of fire, nor was he condensing the divine deity of space and constellations. He was going to condense the 4th innate ability, divine deity, because it would be very useful to him and he wasn't sure if it would be the same as he expected. This is the only way now. Chen Shang activated a live slain method. He wanted to cultivate up a set of life-killing divine deity, then at that time he would be able to use the life and death god power to replicate the divine medicine. If 1 life-killing divine deity was not enough, he would condense 2, and if 2 was not enough, he would condense 3, and condense 4, in short, this was of great use to him. Right now, he only had 50 sets of Shengpin bone-level Dan, which was not even enough for him and Yue. I don't know if Kilian's thinking is the same as mine, starting from condensing life-killing divine deity, if you want to do it, you have to first have a very good understanding of a live slain method. Sister Kilian is so familiar with a live slain method, what does she not have? Does she have no condensing life-killing divine deity? Could it be that it is impossible to condense? Chen Shang had his doubts before, but he always forgot to ask LV Kilian. Very quickly, in less than 3 days, Chen Shang had activated the method to gather power in the alive-slain method, and condensed a piece of life-killing divine deity. The process was actually this simple, and it was even hard for him to believe. This life-killing divine deity is actually of the fire attribute. Is this even a life-killing divine deity? Chen Shang took a closer look at that life-killing divine deity, and discovered that it had a very strong fire energy. It didn't seem like it could replicate a divine medicine's divine deity. Did something go wrong? Chen Shang also noticed that this divine deity was slightly different from his previous flame divine deity, and was a little weaker. Even if it isn't life-killing divine deity, I still wouldn't suffer much of a loss. This divine deity merging into the fire divine soul, is also about as strong as the other fire divine deity. So what? Chen Shang still had 8 fire divine soul, so he didn't know what kind of divine soul was suitable for him. After all, the power of the life-killing divine deity was biased towards flames, so he had decided to use fire divine soul to fuse them. UAA was also very much looking forward to Chen Shang condensing the new attribute divine deity, so she naturally knew that the amount of Shengpin bone-level Dan and divine medicine in Chen Zhang's hands was not even enough for the two of them. Chapter 2184. What Chen Shang was suspicious of was why his life-killing divine deity was so easy to condense, and why LV Kilian should have also known that he had done so, but she had never mentioned it. He felt that LV Kilian definitely had thought of this, but did not succeed. That was why he did not mention it. After fusing with the divine soul, Chen Zhang's new divine deity could be considered to have been successfully completed. Hurry up and test the effects. UAA shouted in anticipation. Chen Shang nodded, activated the alive-slain method, and controlled his life-killing divine deity to absorb the large amount of 6 realms power, quickly transforming the 6 realms power into a life and death force. Not long after, Chen Zhang's palm released a pale purple light, and after a while, the purple light became even stronger. His palm was filled with purple mist, and after spinning for a while, it gathered together, and condensed into a purple bead. Seeing the purple pearl, UAA said, "Isn't this the purple pearl condensed from your dual cultivation with them? You can do it yourself now, and the quality seems to be much better." Chen Shang nodded his head, "Yes, and I haven't finished it yet." He continued to circulate his qi. Very quickly, the life and death force he released was no longer able to be absorbed by the purple pearl. This meant that this purple pearl had already reached its peak, unable to further enhance its quality. "It's only been 2 hours. It's pretty fast, isn't it?" UAA replied, "How can I test it out?" Chen Shang said, "I need to go and ask Sister Kilian before I know. Only she knows about the purple beads, and needs to leave the Earth core for a trip." Chen Shang brought UAA through the transmission array of Huo Lin's Qilin Hall to the surface, then he used an array disk to head to Hundreds of Flowers village. After arriving at the Hundreds of Flowers village, Chen Shang felt that this place was extremely deserted and there were at least a few beautiful girls chattering away in the past. Little Lizzie. Chen Shang suddenly saw an exquisite figure appear in front of him. She seemed to be in a hurry. Hearing Chen Zhang's shout, little Lizzie immediately turned her head over. She looked like she had something urgent, but she still walked over quickly. "Chen Shang, didn't you go back to cultivate?" Little Lizzie asked as he walked over. Chen Shang looked at her while grinning. He did not see this petite beauty before. Little Lizzie was dressed in black tight clothes, as though she was going to fight. Just as she finished speaking, Chen Shang reached out his hand and touched her face. If it was anyone else, she would have definitely cut off her opponent's face with one strike, but she could not do anything to Chen Shang when he touched her face. She could have avoided him originally, but she did not. "I'm going to find Sister Kilian." Chen Shang giggled and retracted his hand. "Did you see elder sister Bai Feng? She is a woman that is very similar to you, you two should be able to get along well with her, right?" "Yes, we did, and I don't know why." Little Lizzie nodded his head. "I just so happen to be going to look for Asgard Mistress, let's go together." Chen Shang nodded and even pulled her jade hand. She did not refuse and brought Chen Shang over to LV Kilian's house with quick steps. "Why is it so quiet here? Where did all those girls go?" Chen Shang asked curiously. After walking for a while, he still did not see anyone. "Some of them went to the Heavenly Divine Palace and received guidance from them." Little Lizzie said, "I had stayed there for a period of time before." At that time, I was responsible for guiding us, and Hanya is also there now. After all, the great Divine Lord is the strongest existence in the nine-heaven world. Chen Shang nodded her head. You guys must work harder, and help Kilian to complete her great undertaking in divine nations. Of course, little Lizzie brought Chen Shang to LV Kilian's residence and immediately opened the door and entered. LV Kilian was in the secret room, but little Lizzie did not inquire any further. He gently opened the stone door of the secret room and brought Chen Shang in. LV Kilian was sitting cross-legged on a jade lotus throne. She opened her eyes slightly, and when she saw Chen Shang and little Lizzie, she softly asked. Little Lizzie, you go first. Chen Shang hugged Yue, and directly sat on the side of her larger lotus seat. LV Kilian spat out lightly, and then moved his body, allowing Chen Shang to enter. Little Lizzie had already known that Chen Shang and LV Kilian had cooked raw rice until they became ripe, so he was not surprised by it at all. I was originally together with Shui Yi, but she didn't know why she suddenly mentioned that she wanted to go to Super God Realm. She said that the All-Beast Divine Lord there needed her help, so she went there. Little Lizzie said. She asked me to tell you that the things she is responsible for will need to be arranged differently. Chen Shang said. I haven't even come back to see this little naughty dragon, what are you and her so busy with? Collect the materials for setting up the formation. Munger and the others told us to make these materials a long time ago. We've only collected half of them. Little Lizzie said. Go find Beifeng and see if she's good in this aspect. LV Kilian said, if she's willing, then let's go together. He's definitely good. When I was in Divine Cauldron Nation, she was the one who bought the divine medicine for me. Chen Shang laughed. She and little Lizzie are like two sisters, they will definitely be compatible. I had told elder sister Beifeng before, and elder sister Beifeng also said that she was my little wife. Little Lizzie spat softly before turning around and leaving the secret room. When little Lizzie left, Chen Shang immediately smiled and revealed LV Kilian's delicate body. My beautiful female emperor, you've missed me to death. LV Kilian snorted lightly, and then looked at Chen Shang with a gaze that was as gentle as water. At this moment, she was also hugged by Chen Shang, and raised her head slightly to kiss Chen Shang. Yue speechlessly replied, you really don't take me seriously. I'm still here. An hour later, LV Kilian's beautiful face slowly tidied up her clothes. It had been a long time since she had received Chen Zhang's warmth. All of you have finished your work. It's about time to get down to business. Yu smiled. LV Kilian's jade face slightly flushed, and asked, you little scoundrel, didn't you say that you would cultivate for many days? It's only been 2 or 3 days, what exactly do you want to return for? Chen Shang took out a purple pearl and gave it to LV Kilian, saying, Sister Kilian, take a look. Seeing the purple pearl, LV Kilian immediately frowned. How did you get it? You are dual cultivating with a woman who cultivates a live slain method and is extremely strong at that. When she said this, she was full of jealousy. Chen Shang pinched LV Kilian's slightly bulging jade face, and laughed. I made this myself, you are extremely proficient with a live slain method, and for powerful women, other than you, I don't think Sister Feng's grasp of a live slain method is as good as yours. Chapter 2185. LV Kilian still found it hard to believe that Chen Shang had cultivated it himself. It was indeed just as Chen Shang had said. Other than the fact that she and Chen Shang had dual cultivated together, the other woman had no way of cultivating this kind of purple pearl with Chen Shang. But during this period of time, she had only been doing it with Chen Shang just now, and they had not dual cultivated either. The quality is not bad. It can copy 4 different Zongpin medicine. LV Kilian estimated, but it will be difficult to replicate the Shengpin medicine. Sister Kilian, how many purple pearls does it take to copy a Shengpin medicine? For example, bone level Dan S. Chen Shang immediately asked, as he currently lacked a Shengpin bone level Dan's divine medicine. I need at least 30 pills. LV Kilian sighed. So right now, Shengpin medicine is our quality, and Zongpin medicine is relatively easier for us to obtain. Oh right, how did you do that? LV Kilian leaned in Chen Zhang's embrace, and played with the purple pearl. You little scoundrel, you wouldn't possibly have a woman hidden inside your Yukai ring, right? Of course not. Chen Shang laughed. I was condensed out using my divine deity. I just managed to cultivate out a life-killing divine deity. It's just that this life-killing divine deity is a bit strange. It's actually fire attributed, and can also be used as a flame-type divine deity. LV Kilian suddenly left Chen Zhang's embrace, and looked at him seriously. Can you let me see your life-killing divine deity? Of course you can enter my divine sense and I will release you. Chen Shang also wanted to know why the life-killing divine deity he condensed were so strange. As LV Kilian's divine soul entered Chen Zhang's divine sense, he immediately saw that silver life-killing divine deity, which was around the same color as Chen Zhang's fire divine deity from before. Sister Kilian, you mainly cultivate a live-slain method, so logically speaking, you should also be able to condense life-killing divine deity, and then directly condense purple pearls. Chen Shang said, your divine deity must be quite a lot now. If you had a lot of life-killing divine deity, the purple pearls that you condense would definitely be even more powerful. I already have 30 divine deity now. I mainly cultivate a single set of divine deity. My innate divine ability should have been a life and death divine ability. However, I don't know why, but I was still unable to unleash my strongest power from the very start, and was even unable to condense a purple pearl like you did. LV Kilian said, you wanted me to find a way to break through the alive slain method and condense an even stronger purple pearl. I have been working hard but to no avail. Initially, I had thought that condensing life-killing divine deity was the only way out, but it had failed on my side. Quote. Chen Shang frowned, and said, Sister Kilian, life-killing divine deity requires the combination of yin and yang. If you are a woman, then you are yin. So, when you were condensing your divine deity, you were only halfway done, causing your divine deity to be incomplete. Quote. Could it be that I need you to dual cultivate while I condense my divine deity? When LV Kilian said this, his face was red. That's right, hee. Chen Shang laughed. Little scoundrel. LV Kilian spat softly. Who told you not to be by my side and make me make such a huge mistake? How do I make it up to you? But what about you? This life-killing divine deity of yours is complete. Quote. LV Kilian left divine sense and lightly pinched the flesh on's chest as he looked at him reproachfully. My queen, I was wrong. I have already found a way to make up for it. Chen Shang laughed. That life-killing divine deity I condensed was made from 9 yin and yang dan. 9 yin and yang dan already possess the power of yin-yang, so my life-killing divine deity is complete. Now, you just need to eat 39 yin and yang dan s, and when you refine the medicine, refine the yang energy inside your divine deity. You just need to handle the extra yin energy yourself, it won't affect you in any way. Chen Shang rubbed LV Kilian's chest, making LV Kilian moan repeatedly. I'll refine the 9 yin and yang dan for you right now. The 30 pellets will be completed soon. Once your life-killing divine deity is complete, you will be able to help me copy a large number of Shengpin medicine. Chen Shang said, don't go busy yourself these 2 days. I'll be back soon. Yue suddenly said, Chen Shang, can't you just bring Sister Kilian along? I just need to stay here, and only 2 creatures can enter that time formation, so you 2 can save a lot of time. Quote. Chen Shang patted his head, and laughed, why didn't I think of it? Sister Kilian, let's go. Chen Shang pulled LV Kilian's hand. LV Kilian didn't know where Chen Shang was taking her, but she didn't ask. She took out a jade talisman and told Long Huishan some things, then they used an array disc to teleport out of the Hundreds of Flowers village. Then, Chen Shang used the space wind and brought him to the bottom of Yuming Deep Abyss. Yuming Deep Abyss. LV Kilian didn't really understand what was going on below. My secret place of cultivation. Chen Shang brought her to the bottom, passed through the stone door, and entered the tunnel. Huo Lin, Yue was not here, so he could not bring LV Kilian deeper in. He felt that if he were to stay here, Huo Lin would be able to bring him into the Qilin Hall. Sure enough, not long after he finished shouting, he and LV Kilian suddenly disappeared, and then appeared on the grass in front of the Qilin Hall's entrance. LV Kilian also didn't know where he was. He only felt that this was an independent and stable space, and it was filled with dense energy, as if it was inside a dragon's vein. Brother, is this eldest sister-in-law? Huo Lin laughed as he walked out. That's right, I brought her here to cultivate together with me. Oh right, when you first met your eldest sister-in-law, didn't you give her any gifts? Chen Shang chuckled. Sister Kilian, this is Huo Lin, a pretty good kid, he's a fire unicorn. Huo Lin curled his lips. These are all gifts from the elders to the juniors, how can any of the juniors give them to the elders? LV Kilian chuckled. He's joking, don't listen to him. Huo Lin also laughed. Sister-in-law, I really do have a present for you. As he spoke, he took out a snow-white lotus flower. This is called the divine lotus of all living things. I can sense the life power that Sis cultivates, so I think it should be more suitable for you. Huo Lin passed the lotus flower to LV Kilian. Brat, you actually didn't give it to me. You're too ungrateful, Chen Shang scolded with a smile as he received the lotus of all living things and stuffed it in LV Kilian's hands. He was very clear on the background of this Huo Lin, since the core of the earth was the treasure of the nine heaven world, so he definitely had a lot of good stuff on hand. When LV Kilian saw this divine lotus, he had felt a trace of chi from it and felt that he liked it a lot. However, the moment she touched the divine lotus's radiance blossomed and then disappeared. What's going on? Chen Shang was shocked. Sister Kilian, what about the divine lotus? Chapter 2186. Huo Lin chuckled. The divine lotus is a divine tool, and it was birthed from a great Tao. She recognized it by herself. In my divine sense see, we can release very strong life energy. Thank you, Huo Lin. LV Kilian said with gratitude. Chen Shang was also very happy that he got such a good thing. He asked, Huo Lin, how did you get hold of this thing? This is the core area of the Earth core realm, the nine heaven world. I found it while I was out playing with it. Huo Lin laughed. Only I can come and go freely in this core, otherwise, not only will I get lost, I will also be killed by the Earth core fire spirit, so big brother, you better not run around. If you have anything suitable, remember to leave it to me. We'll go cultivate first. Chen Shang patted his shoulder, then pulled LV Kilian along and ran into the Qilin Hall, into the secret underground room. LV Kilian walked in and saw the pool of fire. He exclaimed, so that's how Nine Heaven World's core is, then what's going on with Huo Lin? I never knew that you knew such a powerful guy. Quote, I am his savior. Chen Shang explained about the earthly beast briefly and LV Kilian quickly understood. Chen Shang took out the array disk of the time formation, and went in with LV Kilian. Sister Kilian, how good is that divine lotus of all living things? Chen Shang was extremely curious. How so? In short, I feel that if the earth core lotus were to grow, it would at least increase my divine deity by 10 more rays of divine deity. LV Kilian laughed. Are you jealous? A little. Chen Shang touched her face, then gave her a kiss. I'm going to start refining the 9 yin and yang dan now. LV Kilian also kissed him, then closed his eyes and started to cultivate, familiarizing himself with the lotus of all living things. As Chen Shang was still unable to control his later stages of refining the 9 yin and yang dan, he was unable to refine the 9 yin and yang dan for the third time. Just like last time, he refined it in 6 hours. LV Kilian, who was initially cultivating, heard the rumbling sounds and opened his eyes to look, and asked in shock, what is this? Pill tribulation is nothing. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, a bolt of lightning struck the black and white 9 yin and yang dan. Completed. Chen Shang passed the 9 yin and yang dan to LV Kilian. Sister Kilian, after you eat it, you should know how to refine it. I will continue to refine it. LV Kilian nodded his head. If it is successful, I will need to acquire more of these 9 yin and yang dan, especially you Jia and the rest, who will need to cultivate more life-killing divine deity. If possible, it would be best if the original divine deity within their bodies were to be completely transformed into life-killing divine deity. Quote. Chen Shang continued to refine pills, and at the same time, observed LV Kilian. Sister Kilian, don't be surprised, after the first 8 transformations, the last time was when your body underwent the transformation and finally managed to condense the yin and yang energies. Chen Shang said. I got it. LV Kilian very quickly felt the change in power. She herself was also very surprised, but Chen Shang found it strange. Just like him, after the 9 transformations, she would be covered by a hard black shell, and LV Kilian had now begun to merge the yang energy into her first divine deity. It would be a success in no time, and the extra yin energy would be absorbed by the lotus of all living gods, as well as allowing it to contain the lotus of all living gods. In less than half a day's time, she had finished refining the pill. At this time, the black shell outside of her also left, revealing her beautiful and perfect body. Seeing Chen Zhang's bad hand reaching over, LV Kilian patted it and laughed. Little scoundrel, you want to come again? After she finished speaking, she put on her clothes and kissed Chen Shang on the lips. Success, one of my life-killing divine deity has finally been completed. LV Kilian was very happy. She then opened her jade palm and used her life force to condense a purple pearl. It seemed that the quality of the purple pearl was a little better than the one that Chen Shang had condensed. Chen Shang laughed. I can refine a 9 yin and yang dan too, continue to eat. LV Kilian nodded her head and accepted the 9 yin and yang dan, but she did not immediately eat it. Instead, she said, right now, both you and I have a piece of life-killing divine deity. I wonder if it will still have any miraculous effects after us dual cultivating using the life and death energy. Won't you know once you try? Chen Shang laughed. You want to do something to her again? LV Kilian giggled, then gently took off the clothes on his body. The two cultivated for more than 2 hours before they were able to form a bead, and it was a purple bead. It seems like duo cultivation's effect isn't very obvious. After all, our life-killing divine deity already contains the power of yin and yang. LV Kilian looked at the purple pearl carefully, however, the quality is still quite good. In the following half a month, Chen Shang refined a total of 39 yin and yang dan s, and LV Kilian succeeded in completing the 30 life-killing divine deity in his body. In these past few days, Chen Shang was also living an extremely happy life, spending the entire day with LV Kilian. Alright, now I can go back and tell those girls about this news. Tell them to hurry up and cultivate their life-killing divine deity. LV Kilian was also comforted by Chen Shang to the point that she was even more beautiful. Remember to help me copy a little more of the 9 yin and yang dan's divine medicine. I'm really lacking these right now, Chen Shang said. LV Kilian did have 30 life-killing divine deity, so her speed of copying was very fast. How about this, I'll hand over the matters outside to Wei Shan and then accompany you in cultivating. How about that? LV Kilian gave a sweet smile. It's also been a long time since we last cultivated together. Chen Shang immediately nodded, and laughed. If only there were more people entering this place. Let's go back and have Munger transform. Let's get out of here first. LV Kilian nodded his head. This time formation was indeed easy to use. They had been inside for so long, not even half a day had passed outside. Leaving the core realm, Chen Shang and LV Kilian returned to the Hundreds of Flowers village. He went to look for Shui Shenxian, while LV Kilian went to look for Feng Yuji and the others. Chen Shang and the others arrived at their group's villa with the light carriage as they were already familiar with the route, and the moment he entered, he saw the few girls smelting the materials. What's the matter? Shui Shenxian lifted his eyelids, looked at Chen Shang, and asked doubtfully, didn't you go to cultivate? Why are you here? Are you guys repairing that cauldron? Chen Shang saw that the things inside the furnace that were being smelted were extremely sturdy and asked. Sister Yulan needs this cauldron. Shui Shenxian said. Shenxian, do you have any way to modify the time formation? We can add a few more people. Chen Shang said. Right now, only Kilian and I can cultivate inside. Chapter 2187. This is a little difficult. Lu Munger said. We also need to find a new combination of spirit grain. It would be better to strengthen the ring. Quote. The dark dragon ring has been strengthened. Before, Chen Shang had heard that it would be strengthened, because when he came back, he had put the few of them inside the ring. Now, they all had strong divine deity, and the ring was only at the immortal grade. And, as long as I enter the ring, the time inside will also follow the time of the wearer. It was just that the ring was too fragile. If one cultivated inside it, they would need to absorb the energy from the outside, or the divine force released from within would be too great, causing it to collapse. Although it is called strengthening, it is actually equivalent to a new refining method. Dongfang Xinyue said. Although the difficulty is not small, it is a little easier than strengthening the time formation. How long will it take? Chen Shang now understood that Shui Shenxian and the others were really busy with refining teams, no wonder they did not have time to see him before. He had a lot of things he had given them to do, such as repairing the profound WU clothing, and now he was going to let them refine the ring again, so they needed to repair the 6 realms ding as well. Dongfang Jing said softly, Big brother, once we have finished smelting this material, we will be able to help you refine it. Don't be in such a hurry. Chen Shang walked over and touched her pure and beautiful face. Jing is so amazing, even Big brother needs your help now. Dongfang Jing smiled sweetly. She was very happy to be able to help Chen Shang. Dongfang Xinyue laughed. This girl was worried that she would implicate you. Actually, ever since we started refining the ring, we were able to refine artifacts inside it while you were inside the time formation. This way, we would be able to buy more time. Shui Shenxian laughed. I can even supervise this little scoundrel. Chen Shang laughed, then you guys must refine the dark dragon ring even more. That way, you can let Shang Yu and the rest to refine pills. Chen Shang planned to bring a large group of women to Huo Lin to receive their gifts. He felt that Huo Lin definitely had a lot more treasures. The unlucky Huo Lin was still lying on the lawn bathing in the sun, completely unaware that Chen Shang was plotting against him. Chen Shang took out all the useful things from the ring, and then gave the ring to Shui Shenxian. Brother, did you use 4 formation plates at the same time? Dongfang Jing asked. Then the time formation would only be used for the first level, which meant that outside of the time formation, 1 day was equivalent to inside for a month. If 2 levels were outside, then 1 day would be inside, and inside for a year, and the 3rd level would be 10 years, and the 4th level would be 100 years. Because the time difference was too huge, and because he would sometimes stay inside for a period of time, he would come out again. The large array had just absorbed a lot of energy and would have to stop for a while, so it would be quite expensive. Moreover, he was worried that the core would affect him, so he didn't use the ones that were at least 10 or 100 years old. I usually use a month or a year. Is there a problem? Chen Shang asked. If you use the 10 or 100-year-old ones, it would be best if you use them at full capacity at once. These time formation S are the best if used at full strength for 1 day, it can maintain the problem. Of course, if you use the month and the year, then it doesn't matter. Lu Munger said. This time formation is also one of the more powerful array discs in the Heavenly Divine Lord, it just consumes a lot of energy. I understand. Chen Shang nodded his head, I'll go look for Sister Kilian now, I'll come back in a month. Chen Shang felt that it was about time, just as he was about to turn around and leave, he saw LV Kilian walking over. It's all settled. LV Kilian nodded towards Chen Shang, then asked, Munger, can you break through the time formation? No, if it's not enough, we can use the ring to change it, Shui Shenxian told LV Kilian their thoughts. Right now, Chen Shang needed a large number of 9 yin and yang dan. This kind of divine pellet could quickly condense divine deity and divine soul, and with the addition of the time formation, the hundreds of flowers village's overall strength would increase by a lot very quickly. Chen Shang and LV Kilian once again headed towards the Earth Core realm. This time, they would be staying for a while, and LV Kilian's current job was to condense a large amount of 9 yin and yang dan's medicinal ingredients. The 9 yin and yang dan's divine medicine is really miraculous, it doesn't need much life power to be able to be copied. When I condense a purple pearl, I can make a copy, which will allow me to make at least 5 copies a day. LV Kilian said, how long are we going to stay here? LV Kilian and Chen Shang were already inside the time formation. This is the first month, and the first day outside. As for Shenxian and the rest, they will need more than 30 days to finish refining Yu Yao Ring. Doesn't that mean it's been 30 months? LV Kilian said. Yes, we want to refine a few more Shengpin bone level dan. Chen Shang nodded. To LV Kilian, this was not a difficult task. Back then, in order to let Feng Yuji and the others have enough divine medicines, she had also frequently helped them copy the divine medicines. Furthermore, she was with Chen Shang right now, so she didn't feel it was boring at all. So many women are really hard to raise. Chen Shang laughed. You know that too, I've helped you raise it for so many years, hee hee. LV Kilian scoffed, you only know how to throw it at me. Chen Shang hugged her, and laughed, aren't I going to make it up to you now? The rest of the time, Chen Shang was in charge of concocting pills and LV Kilian was in charge of replicating divine medicines. The two of them stayed together all day, flirting and flirting from time to time, leading a happy life. LV Kilian was able to replicate 5 sets of 9 yin and yang dan's divine medicine in a day, and Chen Zhang's speed of refining 9 yin and yang dan was also able to catch up. In just 1,000 days, Chen Shang had refined 2,009 yin and yang dans and 1,000 pieces of Shengpin bone level dans. During this period, Chen Shang had also trained for a period of time, and now he possessed 10 divine deity and stepped into the super god realm. Fortunately, I am with you. If I were myself, I would be very bored. Chen Shang looked at the results of the past few days and laughed. LV Kilian kissed his cheeks. Let's go out now. This is just the beginning. Quote. Chen Shang understood that his current cultivation was too low. If he wanted to become stronger before the divine nations invaded, he would need a lot of time. When Chen Shang left, he did not see Huo Lin, but he knew where the array formation was. Huo Lin had also said before that he would usually search the depths of the earth for treasures and that he would be able to hear him once he shouted when he entered. Huo Lin didn't even need to be in this place to bring him in. Chapter 2188. When Chen Shang and LV Kilian returned to the Hundreds of Flowers village to look for Shui Shenxian and the others, it was just as they had said. Chen Shang took the ring and looked inside. The space inside was even larger, but he was unable to enter. Inside the ring, there was still a huge mansion, and his spirit sense could not penetrate inside. It was the same as before, if not Chen Shang could see what was going on inside. The space inside has already been newly refined. Because we are already familiar with those spirit grain, we were able to create it so quickly. Seeing Chen Zhang's surprised face, Shui Shenxian laughed. Did you get scared? It's indeed impressive, the space inside is very stable. I reckon even you can enter. Chen Shang said. At this time, Yuaa also flew over. I'll try. Because of her previous self, she had been unable to enter the ring. But now that the ring had been strengthened so much, there shouldn't be any problems. Chen Shang tried it and successfully let Yuaa enter the ring. Haha, I'm coming in. Yuaa flew around inside. It's not bad here, it's equivalent to refining a small world. I'm just very curious, why did you bring so many spatial materials? If you want to maintain this level of spatial stability, just having spirit grain S is not enough, you will need very special and rare spatial refining materials. Quote. When we were in Divine Cauldron Nation, we got Yulan to help us collect them. This is the reward that she promised us, we wanted a lot of it at that time. Lu Munger said. Let's go in and see how it goes. Although Lu Munger and the others had refined it before, they had never used it before. Only after Chen Shang had dripped blood on it to confirm his ownership did they enter, and even though they had refined this ring before, it still held a lot of significance to Chen Shang. Lu Munger and the others all knew the meaning of this ring's name. Chen Shang, go find Yu Jia and the others first, I will pass these divine pills to Wei Shan to distribute. Although she and Chen Shang had a lot of 9 yin and yang dan s to refine in the time formation, they didn't need that right now. In the future, they would be able to get even more, because Feng Yuji and the others, this pill refining team, would also be able to get in. LV Kilian was very clear that her Hundreds of Flowers village could not always rely on Chen Shang. Chen Shang had only helped her to establish a position, in the future, they would still have to rely on themselves. The Yuyao Yugong inside the ring had also been expanded and reconstructed by Lu Munger and the others. This was because their refining team needed a relatively large secret room, and it was the same for Hot Feng Yuji and the others' refining team. When Chen Shang came to their villa, he immediately felt a trace of hot air coming out from the ground. He immediately knew that Feng Yuji and the others were concocting pills in a secret underground room. He tried to sense the secret underground room. The security there wasn't very tight, so he teleported immediately to this secret room. And the other 7 girls were surrounding a 2-man tall big pill furnace, concocting pills together. Is this the 7 Souls art? Chen Shang immediately released his Dao Heart Eye and looked at the big pill furnace and his surrounding. He could see the shape of the energy flow. Feng Yuji and the others were very serious, they did not notice Chen Zhang's appearance here. A very uniform output of fire god power. Chen Shang could see the 7 girls' uniform divine fire power slowly being released, finally turning into flames of the same intensity and entering into the great pill furnace. He followed the flow of the fire divine power and looked at the interior of the great pill furnace. He could only vaguely make out some things and could not see any changes within the pill furnace. Furthermore, when he was refining pills, in order to prevent the qi inside the furnace from leaking, the alchemist had also set up a barrier. This way, it would be difficult to find any changes within the pill furnace. They are actually refining 9 yin and yang dan. That is to say that they have already successfully refined it previously. Chen Shang was still a little doubtful, because 9 yin and yang dan were not that easy to refine, even though he had already guided quite a few of them. If we were to talk about Heaven God Fire Dan S, Chen Shang did not doubt them at all. These 7 women all cultivate heavenly alchemy S and have accumulated a lot of experience over the years. He's really refining 9 yin and yang dan. Chen Shang could vaguely see several balls of black and white yin and yang energy mixed together inside the pill furnace. This caused Chen Shang to be extremely shocked, because these 7 women were refining a few 9 yin and yang dan S at the same time. Even though Chen Shang had that thought, up till now, he still did not know what he should do. Could it be that this 7 souls refinement is really powerful? It could actually allow them to refine many 9 yin and yang dans at the same time. Chen Shang was very curious, and wanted to know how they did it right now. That way, he could learn something from it. This was because when he was refining 9 yin and yang dan, he could only refine one furnace at a time and could only produce one pill at a time. This caused him to refine these pills very slowly. Chen Shang could only wait patiently. He knew that he wouldn't have to wait too long, because the 9 yin and yang dan had already entered the later stages of the natural pill condensation phase. Sure enough, Chen Shang had only waited a short while before Feng Yuji and the other girls opened their eyes at the same time. You scared me, Su Meiyao scoffed. How long have you been in here? Not long. Seeing you beauties concocting pills at the same time is also a type of enjoyment. Chen Shang laughed. He had already arrived by the side of the big pill furnace and floated. Can you open the lid of the pill furnace now? Do you know what pill we are refining? Hua Shangyu smiled charmingly. You guessed right, I will give you some rewards. 9 yin and yang dan. And it's even 5 pills. Chen Shang said confidently. Although he couldn't see everything clearly, he could still catch a few things. Hua Shangyu laughed tenderly. Amazing, one kiss. With that, she gently floated to Chen Zhang's side and kissed his cheeks. Chen Shang opened the lid of the pill furnace and said, 5 9 yin and yang dan, I wonder what the simultaneous pill calamity will be like. Feng Yuji asked, how do you know that we are refining 9 yin and yang dan? And it can even be said that it's 5 pills. Quote. Not only Feng Yuji, Su Meiyao and the others were also very curious, because when concocting pills, it was best to not reveal any of it. Furthermore, Feng Yuji and the others thought that when they were using the 7 souls refinement method, they had already done so to not leak any of it, but Chen Shang could still see through it. Chapter 2189. Wu Qianchen thought of something and said softly, his eyes are very strange. Last time, he used those eyes to refine a batch of bone-level dan-s in an instant. Not with your eyes. If I look with my eyes, I can see more of you. Chen Shang could directly see someone's divine sense see with his eyes, and if his defense was insufficient, he would even be attacked by him. It's even stronger than the source spirit eyes. It's a bit hard to cultivate. After Chen Shang opened the lid, the 5 9 yin and yang dan floated up. The pill calamity arrived in a flash, and a few bolts of lightning struck the 9 yin and yang dan. After the 9 yin and yang dan passed through its pill calamity, Chen Shang extended his hand out to receive it. Looking at the quality, there was not much difference between the quality he had refined and it. When did you learn it? Chen Shang asked. Looking at you guys, refining it is very easy. If that great national master from Divine Cauldron Nation knew about this, he would definitely vomit blood. Quote. It took us 10 days to succeed. This is our 3rd batch. Feng Yuji said. Compared to you, we are still lacking a lot. If we were to refine it ourselves, it would be a bit more difficult. Then how long will it take for you all to craft this furnace together? Chen Shang asked again. Although your 7 souls are more powerful, you shouldn't rely too much on them, unless you guys can refine it on your own at a very high level. If you use it together, the effects will definitely be better. Su Meiyao nodded his head. We will use the refinement of the 7 spirits, the fastest we can refine 5 pellets in an hour and a half, and we will also need to use 5 sets of 9 yin and yang dan-s as medicinal ingredients. If we were to forge it alone, it would take at least 8 to 9 hours. Quote. Chen Shang, how much time do you need to refine a batch of Misty Rain River South? Du Yanyao asked. Around 4 hours. If I were to use my full strength, 2 hours shouldn't be a problem. The difficulty that I am currently unable to overcome is the later stage. You all should know that when you condense your cores later on, it's all naturally formed. I can't control it, so it's very difficult for me to break through my limits. Chen Shang sighed. You still want to break through your limits? Jilinger was extremely surprised, her mouth wide open. What other limits is there to break through? Spiritual light. Chen Shang laughed. Refining a 9 yin and yang dan with spirit light is definitely very difficult. And this is only my current goal, I have a higher goal in the future. Quote. All the girls were shocked by Chen Zhang's words. Refining the spiritual light was indeed difficult, and they needed to concoct the medicine, but they could not control the 9 yin and yang dan at all. It was almost impossible to refine a spiritual light. Is there anything higher than spiritual light? Hong Sha thought for a moment, then shook her head. The spiritual light should not appear on the 9 yin and yang dan, right? Feng Yuji nodded his head. This 9 yin and yang dan is already very mysterious. Divine medicine isn't something that's very rare, but the divine pills that are refined are actually this powerful. I think that this is already the limit. We are unable to refine any spirit lights. We need to follow the laws of nature. Su Meiyao pinched Chen Zhang's face, and said with an enchanting smile, "Little scoundrel, you must have made a breakthrough. Are you hiding it from us? And then he was going to hit us again, wasn't he?" Quote. Chen Shang laughed, "Of course not. I've already said it before, I still have no way to break through the second slash. Although this is the power of nature and contains the power of law, since this is the power of law, then it can still be broken." Quote. "Oh yeah, you all should have refined Tianwo Dan, right?" Chen Shang took out a Tianwo Dan. Yes, the Tianwo Dan was easily refined. It was a success. Wu Qianchen nodded, then she took out the Tianwo Dan she refined for Chen Shang to see. There were 2 Tianwo Dan in Wu Qianchen's palm. One of them was a normal high-quality Tianwo Dan, and the other was a Tianwo Dan that had a spirit light. Not bad, a Tianwo Dan that can already refine spiritual light. Chen Shang laughed, and touched Wu Qianchen's jade face, causing her to wrinkle her nose at him. The smile was extremely sweet and gentle. "Why do you ask?" Feng Yuji said. "We can all refine Tianwo Dan with spiritual light." Chen Shang laughed. "The Tianwo Dan I refine is extremely terrifying. It far surpasses you spirit soul Tianwo Dan, and is close to the existence of Jingshan Dan." "Impossible." Feng Yuji spoke with determination. She knew a lot about divine pellets, so she had naturally heard about the Jingshan Dan-s before. Jingshan Dan-s usually only appear with their divine pellets, or even with their divine pellets. The power contained within the Tianwo Dan's divine medicines is simply unable to crystallize. Quote. When Chen Shang taught them his experiences before, he did not tell them this part because he did not succeed in refining a Jingshan Dan either. Although he had almost succeeded, in his opinion, it was a huge failure. All of the Tianwo Dan that he had competed in the Divine Cauldron Nation with Shang Hongdao had been given to him, and Shang Hongdao said that he wanted to conduct research on them. Therefore, he didn't have it right now, but he planned to personally refine a batch. Kilian is outside, I'll open the door. Jilinger immediately opened the door. When LV Kilian entered and saw that Chen Shang and the girls were discussing something, and was even serious, she was extremely curious. After asking, she also found it difficult to learn that Chen Shang was actually going to use Shengpin Medicine S to refine Jingshan Dan. Without saying anything, Chen Shang took out the pill furnace and laughed. I will refine one for you all to see, but let me explain first. I was just a step away from success. I am still unable to pass the last step, although it is only an incomplete pill, but it proves that I might have succeeded. As he said that, Chen Shang had already begun to put in the Tianwo Dan's divine medicine, and then began to refine. At the beginning, he quickly entered the final stage of fusing the medicinal liquid. It was the same as before, what he refined was also mutated. It's the critical moment. Chen Shang immediately circulated the 8-day sea-suppressing orb, preparing to suppress the changes that occurred inside the furnace. At this moment, the purplish gold medicinal liquid had already been split into 6, and he poured sufficient fire god power into each of them. Begin. Chen Shang used his 6 strongest fire god power to drive the 6 balls of medicinal liquid forward. Boom. The pill furnace shook and the inside of the furnace exploded, but the pill furnace only moved slightly. Su Meiyao said with furrowed brows, why would it move? Had he collided with something? But the noise is too small. Quote. Feng Yuji said. The more berserk you are, the more powerful the medicinal liquid you will create will be, but your movements are too small. It doesn't seem as though it is berserk enough. How can you condense a Jingshan Dan at such a level? Chen Shang did not say anything. The impact just now was extremely powerful, but he had used the 8 heavenly layers C to suppress it. Otherwise, the pill furnace would have suffered a great deal of damage. Chapter 2190. There were countless drops of liquid inside the furnace, and these drops of liquid repelled each other and could not be fused together. Chen Shang needed to use a strong flame to turn these drops of liquid into fire-type liquid in order to fuse. Chen Shang had already tried it once before, so it was not as troublesome to deal with now. After fusing with all the water droplets, a mud-like object appeared in the pill furnace. Chen Shang called this thing, medicinal liquid. I wonder if we can succeed this time around. Chen Zhang's expression was currently grave. Last time, he had lost control at the last crucial moment, and only then did he condense the irregular pill. Chen Shang was more confident this time, because last time he tried to refine it, he only had 7 divine deity. Chen Shang split the medicinal liquid into 5 parts, this was his limit. After splitting into 5 groups, he started to focus all of his energy to compress them. The compressing speed was originally very slow, but after using the infinite refining, his speed increased very quickly. Chen Shang was currently sweating profusely, and it was obvious that he was having a difficult time. Wu Qianchen said softly, he's already so serious when he's only refining a cauldron of Tianwo Dan. Could he really be able to refine a Jingshan Dan? I don't know. Up until now, there hasn't been any movement. I can't tell at all. Feng Yuji shook his head. In their eyes, even refining the Tianwo Dan of the divine light did not require that much effort, but Chen Zhang's current performance was as if he was taking half his life. Right now, Chen Shang had indeed used half of his life to refine it, and he had even used all of the 10 divine deities' divine power. In order to ensure success, he even used his 8 bones in the end. It will be completed soon. Chen Shang began to accumulate all his strength and use it all on the 5 Tianwo Dan that were wrapped around him. Last time, he was relatively relaxed in front, but he suddenly lost control at the back. The moment before he lost control, he could still clearly remember that moment, and it was hard for him to guard against it. He's here, Chen Shang could not help but shout. He did not know why, but this time he actually felt an extremely terrifying power burst out from the 5 Tianwo Dan that were about to be formed. Boom! Chen Zhang's pill furnace instantly exploded, and for him who was closest to it, a portion of his clothes were destroyed by the explosion, revealing his robust upper body. At this moment, one could see the veins in his arms emitting a red light, as though there were 2 small dragons swimming inside each of his arms. This was the double bone level on his arms, and it was currently pouring out endless divine power to suppress the 5 Tianwo Dan. The pill furnace was broken, but Chen Shang anxiously used magic method furnace to suppress it. At this time, Feng Yuji and the other girls could clearly see that inside Chen Zhang's magic method furnace, 5 crystal-like round beads were floating, and these round beads were gradually being compressed. Damn it, the more it is compressed, the more terrifying the resistance will be. Chen Shang said as he frowned. He had not succeeded yet, as long as he did not stop exploding the energy in his body with these 5 crystal cores, he would not stop. Now, Chen Shang understood that he was not just a little bit away from success last time. It was because he had persisted for so long to compress it, yet it was still difficult to succeed. Moreover, the more he compressed it, the stronger the resistance would be. This was also the reason why he suddenly lost control last time. Let's give him a hand and use the 7 souls refinement technique. Feng Yuji suddenly said. Su Meiyao and the others immediately understood, and sat around Chen Shang, channeling their energy together. Let our power enter, Feng Yuji said to Chen Shang seriously, you can't complete it yourself right now. Now, Feng Yuji believed in Chen Shang, he really could use Shengpin Medicine S to refine Jingshan Dan S. Although Chen Shang was still unable to succeed, it had already proven that he was right. 1, 2, 3. After Chen Shang shouted 3 times, he released 7 entrances, allowing Hua Shangyu and the other 7 girls to establish a link with the magic method furnace, so they could infuse his own energy to suppress the crystal pellet. It was just that from the start, Chen Shang felt much more at ease. He realized that Su Meiyao and the other 2 soul refining techniques were not only limited to neutralizing their powers, they were also much stronger than the combined forces of the 7 women. You quit and let us do it. If you can't cooperate with us, it will affect us. Feng Yuji said. Chen Shang nodded his head. I am about to withdraw, get ready, 1, 2, 3, retreat. Quote. The moment he withdrew his power, the 7 girls immediately felt a heavy force surging towards them. Now, they couldn't help but admire Chen Shang for being able to suppress him for so long by himself. Of course, when the 7 of them united, it was much easier compared to Chen Shang. Just like that, after an hour, the 5 pills had been compressed to a certain extent, and no longer produced any resistance. Alright, Feng Yuji exhaled. It's really hard to deal with. LV Kilian took out a jade plate, walked over, and with Chen Shang still resting, he smiled. Now do you believe what I said? Is this a Jingshan Dan? Quote. Yes, it's very sturdy. LV Kilian said as he pinched himself hard. This is usually the rigidity of the condensed energy crystal. It's hard to imagine, just a portion of the Shengpin Dan could be refined into a Jingshan Dan. Quote. Feng Yuji wiped his sweat and nodded, and it's 5 of them. Su Meiyao and Hua Shangyu, the two goblins had already arrived beside Chen Shang, and helped him wipe his sweat, clearing away the dirt on his body that was caused by the explosion. Chen Shang chuckled. The Tianwo Dan can do it. Bone level Dan S and Heaven God Fire Dan S can also, and even 9 Yin and Yang Dan S. I feel that it is possible, but I have yet to find a way to break through. Quote. Actually, I had an even more daring idea. I would like to make a second attempt and cause that half-crystal Tianwo Dan to crash into me again. Su Meiyao lightly pinched the muscles on his back, and said with a smile, if I hit him again, this entire place would collapse. Jilinger sighed. We are still too inexperienced, we did not expect the divine pellet's quality to be able to unceasingly break through. If it was really successful, wouldn't it mean that ordinary divine pellets can refine extremely high-quality divine pellets? Wu Qianchen said. Chen Shang, have you ever tried using a low-level divine medicine before? Then it might be easier. Chen Shang shook his head. I have never tried it before. I plan to try out low-rank bone-level Dan S in the future, and if they can continuously break through the limits of quality, to our alchemist, they will be able to temper an even thicker foundation. LV Kilian picked up one pellet and placed it next to Feng Yuji's mouth, like he was feeding candy to a child, causing both she and Feng Yuji to laugh involuntarily. After Feng Yuji ate this piece of heavenly flame Jingshan Dan, he could not help but take a deep breath. With this level of medicinal power, it's equivalent to at least 10 Heaven God Fire Dan S. Chapter 2191. Chen Shang had also eaten a Jingshan Dan. The medicinal power was extremely strong. If those precious and very useful Shangpin Dan were to be refined into Jingshan Dan, then they would be able to obtain an even more powerful effect. Baidu search for title plus 800 tailnet. This was also what Chen Shang had always been pursuing. He continuously broke through his limits to refine even higher quality pills, and deeply excavated the potential of these divine medicines. Are you all ready? Go into the ring to refine pills, that way we can enter the time formation to buy more time. Chen Shang said. Shenxian and the others, this refining team is already inside. LV Kilian now also mentioned the matter of her cultivating life-killing divine deity. She had 30 divine deity, so she could quickly duplicate divine medicines. The 9 Yin and Yang Dan that Chen Shang had refined previously, were not all given to Long Huishan. They still kept some, which was enough for Feng Yuji and the others to cultivate life-killing divine deity. Of course not, this will buy us more time. As long as we become stronger ahead of time, we can make the Hundreds of Flowers village more stable. Feng Yuji said. Su Meiyao said. Only refining pills isn't enough for us, right? For example, Ziqian Yulan and the rest. Quote. At this time, Lu Munger said from within the ring, looks like it won't work. Under normal circumstances, no matter how many people enter the ring, it won't be a problem. But if it's inside the time formation, I'm afraid it won't do, there is a certain limit. Moreover, Chen Shang will be using the 100-year-old time formation. Quote. One day outside, we will be inside the time formation for 100 years. Chen Shang said. Because we still have a lot of things to do, we have to speed up. How about this, we'll stay inside for 1,000 years, and it's only been 10 days outside, then we'll trade you and Yulin in. Quote. LV Kilian nodded his head. Then let's not waste any time, let's go quickly. After that, Feng Yuji and the others placed the big pill furnace into the ring, and LV Kilian followed them in. Chen Shang immediately headed towards the Earth's mind realm, and Huo Lin had also returned. Originally, he had planned to let the woman in the ring come out and receive a present or something, but he was worried that he would scare Huo Lin, so he decided against it. Big brother, is sister-in-law not here this time? Huo Lin asked curiously. He's here, but inside this ring, and it's not just a sister-in-law, do you want to meet all of them? Chen Shang asked with a smile. Huo Lin was startled, then laughed. Big brother, you are worried that they would come out to ask for my presents, so you hid them inside your storage ring, right? I was just worried that you would be embarrassed. The last time you gave Sister Kilian a divine lotus, I felt a little embarrassed. Chen Shang laughed. What's that? That god's lotus is only a small toy to me. As the earthly beast, I am the underground autarch, can't I give it back? Hurry up and get us all out of here, don't look like I'm too stingy. Huo Lin said very straightforwardly. Chen Shang laughed. Since you said that, then I won't pity your things anymore. After that, he asked the refining and refining teams to come out. Adding LV Kilian to that, there were 12 people. Huo Lin had thought that there would only be a few of them previously, but he didn't expect there to be so many. Sisters, you're all like me, all of you practice fire, this is much easier. Huo Lin took out 11 fiery red lotuses. These are all earth and spirit lotuses, and are all good items that are bred by the earth's core. They have all been picked by me long ago, but they are not suitable for me to use, and only women can use. Shui Shenxian and the others thanked them with a smile. Right now, they felt that Huo Lin was like big brother Chen Shang. Normally only the elders would give gifts to the juniors, but now, Chen Shang actually had the cheek to ask this little brother to give them such valuable gifts. He's my brother, not my husband. Dongfang Jing said with a red face, but she did not receive the spirit earth lotus. Then you're my big sister, so I'll give it to you as a gift. Huo Lin was extremely happy as he laughed. Jilinger and Red Cloud were not Chen Zhang's women in the first place, but Chen Shang still gave them the mind lotus. After receiving the gifts, Chen Shang allowed them to enter into the ring. Big brother, why don't you let them go around for a while? Would it be fierce to stay inside the storage magic treasure? Huo Lin said. That's not it, because I want to go into the time formation to cultivate with them, so the time formation can only stay for 2 people, so I can only use this method. Right, you have enough energy in this Earth's core, right? The time formation that I am using can turn into 100 years in one day, and the amount of energy required to do so is extremely huge. Chen Shang said, I'm worried that I will empty the energy in this Earth's core. Based on the current quality of the space, the energy required to turn one into 100 years is indeed enormous. However, the core of the Earth can still withstand it, but it cannot continue. Big brother, you better use it once in a while. This way, you can give the Earth's core some space to recover. Huo Lin thought for a while, then said, you will stop every 10 days, and if you give Core Lu a day or 2, he will be able to recover. Chen Shang said, alright. Oh right, Huo Lin, are you looking for some treasure that you wander around in the underground world all day? Quote. Huo Lin laughed. Big brother, to be honest, I am looking for my future wife. Before Earth's core divine spirit left, he told me that his other half in the heart is also a Qilin. It seems to be a purple Qilin. So it's like this, then you have to put in more effort. Chen Shang patted his shoulder, and laughed, I'm going to cultivate, my current strength is still very weak, I need to become stronger when 9 heaven world devours super god realm. Alright, big brother, you have to work hard too. Huo Lin said. Chen Shang went into the cultivation room and opened 4 levels of time formation. After entering, the time formation was frantically absorbing the energy from the fire liquid pond beside it. 10 days outside will be 1,000 years. Chen Shang had already planned to stay here for 1,000 years. During this time, he would be able to let them refine many divine pellets, which would be enough for him to obtain a lot of power. In the pill refining team, only Feng Yuji and Su Meiyao were battle type, but they did not intend to develop in this aspect. They had already decided to focus on refining pills, instead of enjoying violent power like Chen Shang. Shui Shenxian and the others, on the other hand, were not very fond of fighting. But if they were to join forces, it would allow them to nurture many powerful war gods. Godly pills and godly weapons were very necessary for war gods. Although LV Kilian cultivated in the alive slain method, not only could she replicate the divine medicine using her life and death powers, she could also use it to kill people as well. As for what methods she had right now, Chen Shang was also not sure, because he had not seen LV Kilian make a move for a long time. Kilian, wait until 1,000 years have passed, then we will be able to get another group of berserkers. We will be refining pills for 1,000 years, which is enough for hundreds of Flowers Village and 9 Heaven School to use for a long time. Feng Yuji said, it's impossible without powerful war gods, only with divine pellets and powerful divine tools. LV Kilian nodded. I understand, this 1,000 years is enough for me to cultivate many divine deity, and there's even bones. Quote. Chapter 2192. Due to the appearance of a refining team, Chen Shang did not need to be so nervous about refining pills. He only used to refine pills for a few days, and then he started to cultivate. www.800book.net All the words, faster, no windows. Greater than. In order to not be too bored, LV Kilian came out from the ring to accompany him. She also knew that if they spent 1,000 years together, not a single person would talk to them, it would be extremely boring. Furthermore, they were husband and wife, if they stayed together, it would be even more carefree. Could it be that my bones has reached a bottleneck? Chen Shang wanted to cultivate up to the 5th bones now, but he had eaten hundreds of bone-level dan and failed to trigger the opportunity, causing him to waste a lot of time. You should cultivate first. Perhaps, to you right now, your bones has already reached its maximum capacity. Perhaps, you might need an even stronger physical body in order to be able to contain more bones. LV Kilian comforted him. MN, I shall begin to condense divine deity now. Sister Kilian, tell me, do I still need to condense life-killing divine deity? Chen Shang asked. My main future direction is also to refine pills. I think it's necessary, because life-killing divine deity are a bit special, the life and death force produced by the transformation is not weak at all. Furthermore, you specialize in fire, so you can also convert a strong power of life and death divine flame, which is better than your original fire divine deity. If I feel that it's possible, then turn your other fire divine deity into your life-killing divine deity. Quote. Also thought the same. Not only did life-killing divine deity possess immense violence, it also had the attribute of creating a fire divine deity, and it was also a flame divine deity. It was because there were no 9 yin and yang dan before, that was why they were unable to form a perfect set of life-killing divine deity. Chen Shang and LV Kilian both had a large amount of divine pellets as support, and also had top-notch divine arts, so it could be said that they could cultivate unimpeded. The long 1,000 years were about to pass. LV Kilian had already cultivated up to 70 divine deity, and all of them were life-killing divine deity. The purple pearls she condensed out possessed an even stronger replicating ability, and Chen Shang only had 60 divine deity now. The girls who were refining pills in the ring had cultivated for shorter periods than Chen Shang and LV Kilian, because they were mainly refining pills, but they could still use 40 to 50 sets of divine deity, and they also had 3 in each group. You were almost 1,000 years, right? UAA was extremely sensitive to time and had a very precise timing. But during this past year, she had made a great breakthrough and cultivated up to the 6th divine deity, relying solely on that the pill refining team refined for her. She loved Su Meiyao and the others to death right now. 10 days is more than enough. UAA said. Chen Shang, the 6 realms ding have already been repaired. At that time, we can give it to Xiao Yulan, and not much time has passed for them. Chen Shang nodded his head. Not only did Lu Menger and the others fix the 6 realms ding, they also fixed the 5 elephant divine weapons on Chen Zhang's body, allowing him to become even stronger. Of course, the most important thing was that he helped Chen Shang refine a very strong pill furnace. Because it was a technique left behind by the Heavenly Divine Lord, it was named the Heavenly Furnace. Husband, we've discovered a secret of the 5 elephants' godly weapon. Shui Shenxian said, when we were repairing the 5 elephant divine weapons, we had already thoroughly studied the structure of the 5 elephant divine weapons, and actually found out that these 5 godly weapons can be fused together. It should be said that they were originally a whole, but for some reason, they were split into 5 parts. Quote. Oh, then how can we reorganize it? Chen Shang was very curious about this, and wanted to see what the combination of the 5 elephant divine weapons would turn into. After all, these were the more powerful divine weapons that the Heavenly Divine Lord had left behind, and even the divine nations were looking for them. I need to smelt it, but if I don't, it will all be wasted. Lu Menger said, do you dare to try? You dare, I believe you will succeed. Chen Shang said, how long will it take? I don't know yet, but the process is very complicated and will take a long time. However, I don't need any materials, because the materials used for the 5 elephants' godly weapon are already very good. Dongfang Xinyue said, if you want to go to Divine Cauldron Nation to exchange for 6 realms ding, it would be best if you can wait for us for a while and combine the 5 elephant divine weapons. That's not a problem, we need to go out and rest. A group of battle maniacs will come in and train. Su Meiyao laughed. If he lost the 5 elephant divine weapons, it would be a huge loss to Chen Shang. However, he wanted to see what would happen after the fusion. He felt that he still had a 6 realms mirrors, and this thing was also very strong. He had researched it many times over the past 1,000 years. The most powerful thing about 6 realms mirrors was that it had many powerful formations. After Lu Menger and the others analyzed and researched it, they knew that there were many uses of the 6 realms mirrors, but they were unable to copy it because the 6 realms mirrors was not made from human beings but was naturally nurtured by the Great Tao. 6 realms mirrors were powerful existences, but they could use 6 realms mirrors to shine through large formations, and could be directly imprinted inside 6 realms mirrors. This was the reason why 6 Realms Mirrors S had so many powerful formations. Furthermore, 6 Realms Mirrors could record many images and it could even radiate powerful attacks. It was not as simple as nurturing a 6 Realms power, it was also a very strong killing tool. Now Chen Shang understood why the 6 Divine Lord S back then could be called emperors. With this treasure, it was hard to not be powerful, but in the end, it was still difficult to fight against 4 opponents. After being surrounded, the 6 Realms Mirrors S were heavily injured, causing the 6 Divine Nations S to be destroyed. After cultivating for 1,000 years, Chen Shang and LV Kilian finally walked out of the time formation. Only 10 days had passed outside. When they walked out of the Qilin Hall, both Chen Shang and LV Kilian were a little surprised. Originally, the outside of the hall was brimming with vitality. Huo Lin, I am truly sorry for making this place become like this. Chen Shang shouted guiltily, because Huo Lin wasn't here right now. It was also because of the excessive use of the time formation that caused this place to become like this. Huo Lin suddenly appeared and giggled. It's fine, Core Earth also knows how to protect yourself, so it has sealed off a lot of its energy, and it was not completely absorbed by you. It will become better after a few days, Core Earth is very strong. After all, this is the energy source that maintains the laws of this world. How could something happen to your array formation? Really, you scared me to death. And here I thought the core of the Earth was finished. Chen Shang also laughed. Chen Shang and LV Kilian arrived at the teleportation formation and asked, Huo Lin, if there is another formation like this, can I come in the next time I come in? Of course, but only the Earth's core divine spirit can lay down this array. Of course, if you guys have experts in setting up the array, it would also be possible to take some time to break the spirit grain. Huo Lin nodded. Chen Shang laughed, held LV Kilian's hand and floated high up in the air. Then, he shone the 6 Realms Mirrors in his hand onto the transmission array, with a thought, this transmission array would be copied inside the 6 Realms Mirrors. Next time, I'll be able to teleport here. I don't need to trouble you. Chen Shang laughed as he teleported away with LV Kilian. www.800book.net All the words, faster, no windows. Chapter 2193. After returning to the Hundreds of Flowers village, there weren't any changes here because they had only been gone for 10 days. LV Kilian immediately took out his communication jade symbol paper and summoned all the battle maniacs that he had to train. Leng Yulin and Mu Chenxiang were naturally elected, and then it was Long Huishan. Long Huishan had to be in charge of training them, Zhu Hanru, LV Qinlian, Little Lizzie, Xiao Baifeng. The 7 women of the pill refining team and LV Kilian would be switched out, so there were only 8 spots. These 8 women were all chosen by LV Kilian, so LV Kilian had a better understanding of them. They were all the girls that could be beaten the most, the girls that could be beaten the most. Originally, Chen Shang had planned to let Xiao Jin'er and Shui Bingyan in as well, but after thinking about it, he decided to let them in again the next time. Chen Shang did not want to affect the precious purity of their hearts. I shall be named Super Invincible and sweep through the world of the 3 realms as the strongest team. When Leng Yulin found out that he was added into a team that specialized in battles, he was extremely excited and immediately thought of a name. Chen Shang was instantly speechless. It was obvious that the inherent skill needed to pass this title down to the White Dragon bloodline. It's too long, let's call it War God Team. Chen Shang smiled and patted her head, I'll be going in 2 days. I'll be waiting for Sister Kilian to distribute the divine pellets. Chen Shang did not know how many divine pills there were, although he had refined quite a few himself, the pill refining team had refined even more. Right now, they were mainly refining a large amount of divine pellets, so they did not try to attack the Jingshan Dan. They felt that this kind of task could only be accomplished perfectly by Chen Shang first. 2 days later, other than Long Huishan, the rest of the 7 girls entered the ring. Chen Shang took out the 6 Realms Mirrors and after saying his goodbyes to LV Kilian, he brought the transmission array that Long Huishan had copied from the 6 Realms Mirrors and entered the Earth Core realm. Only after being here for 2 days, Chen Shang saw that the place had regained its vitality. He did not see Huo Lin, and instead brought Long Huishan into the secret room. Lu Menger and the others, as a refining team, were still refining. Right now, they planned to refine another ring and give it to LV Kilian so that he could bring them into this place to cultivate in the future. Sister Wei Shan, don't you have a lot of bones now? After Chen Shang entered the time formation, he asked. There are only 2 bones. After we leave, there should be a little more, right? Long Huishan also understood the importance of bones, so she asked while smiling, "Kid, how much do you have?" Chen Shang stretched out 4 fingers. "More than you." Actually he had 8 bones, because every time he condensed bones, it was double bone level, which also caused it to be even more difficult the further he went. So this time, he did not plan on continuing his divine deity cultivation in seclusion. He already had 60 divine deity, of which 15 were spatial divine deity, 15 were celestial phenomenon divine deity, and the remaining 30 were all life-killing divine deity. So many. However, if I train for 1,000 years, there should be that many as well. Long Huishan laughed. "I will be going in first, and give some missions to the 2 little girls. Other than Yulan and Chenxiang, she doesn't need me to worry about her." Only Leng Yulan and Mu Chenxiang were relatively young, and Zhu Hanru, Lv Qinlian, Bai Ziqian, Xiao Baifeng, and little Lizzie, these few women, were all sly old foxes, all of them had their own systems for cultivation. Xiao Baifeng had interacted with little Lizzie outside for a while and she found out from him that all of the women by his side had those kinds of feelings. And although the ones with her here right now weren't completely Chen Zhang's people, they all had deep and complicated feelings for him. Chen Shang had to cultivate his bones this time around. He had prepared many bone-level Dan and high-quality divine medicine. If the high-quality bone-level Dan could not satisfy him, he could only refine them according to his own needs. This is still 1,000 years. In these 1,000 years, you will all become extremely powerful, Chen Shang said, then ate the bone-level Dan and began to refine the medicinal power. In the blink of an eye, 900 years had passed. After Chen Shang felt a tremor, he asked Yue, "How long has it been?" He could sense that the time formation was moving, which meant that something was wrong with the Qilin Hall. 900 years, Yu said. Chen Shang mainly trained in divine deity. Even though 900 years had passed, he had only cultivated bones 3 times, and every time, he would cultivate double bone level, with his left leg, back, and chest respectively. Of course, he spent a lot of time refining bone level Dan. Because it was not only him, Long Huishan and the War God team also needed to refine the bone level Dan according to their own circumstances. "We need to go out and take a look. We should be able to stop it now," Chen Shang asked. "That's enough, I already have 65 divine deity, 5 of them, my strength has increased by a lot," Long Huishan said. Chen Shang nodded his head. Following that, Leng Yulan and the others also reported on their own cultivation, and with the help of a large number of pills, they all leveled up quickly. Especially Xiao Baifeng, he actually managed to cultivate up to 70 divine deity and 5 bones. As for the other women, they at least had 65 divine deity and each of them could reach 5 bones. In order to raise their overall strength, Lu Munger and the others refining team all had 60 divine deity S and 4 bones S, because when necessary they could also go onto the battlefield. Of course, the most important thing was that they had already assembled the 5 elements divine weapons. After combining forces, it turned out to be a longsword with a broken tip. Although this sword looked very ordinary, it was filled with an ancient air. Moreover, it didn't have a sword tip, but the sword aura was very threatening. With Chen Shang in his hand, even Long Huishan, who was standing beside him, did not dare to walk in. This is the heavenly magic sword. It was precisely because of the damage done to the heavenly magic sword that the strength of the heavenly divine lord had declined by a lot. It was one of the important reasons why the 9th heaven's divine nations was destroyed. It's still broken. We are still unable to repair it, but it can still be used. Lu Munger said. We have already recorded down the spirit grain S in the span of a few hundred years. Next, we will study how to repair this sword. It must be because Heavenly Divine Lord was in a hurry to repair his own 6 realms ding back then, that he didn't have time to fix his own divine sword. Quote. When Chen Shang and Long Huishan walked out of the time formation, sure enough, the outside was trembling and it was extremely violent. After walking out of the Qilin Hall, Chen Shang saw Huo Lin pulling a petite and cute girl. This girl was dressed in purple, and when she saw Chen Shang and Long Huishan, she immediately hid behind Huo Lin and tightly hugged onto his arms. Ziqi, he's the big bro I always said. Huo Lin laughed. He was startled when he saw Long Huishan. This must be sister-in-law. Brother, sister-in-law, how do you do? Although she was still a bit shy, she still revealed a sweet smile. Long Huishan was a little embarrassed from being called out, because she and Chen Shang had not reached that level yet. Although she had tacitly agreed that Chen Shang was her man, she nodded her head now and smiled. Little sister, no need to be courteous, we are all family. Chen Shang could already tell that this Ziqi should be the purple Qilin that Huo Lin was looking for. Huo Lin, what happened? As Chen Shang was speaking, another wave of violent shaking could be heard. The two geocentric edicts are mutually beneficial. No matter who wins, in the end, they will merge together. I am also prepared to have my own battle. Huo Lin said with a serious expression on his face. Core of the Earth is the first to integrate with the other core of the Earth, and I need to defeat the other core of the Earth's earthly beast. As long as I win, core of the Earth will continue to be my territory. Chapter 2194. Huo Lin's words made Chen Shang extremely worried. He used to be the only one in the Nine Heaven world who had earthly beast, but from the looks of it, the earthly beast in the super god realm was very powerful. If not, Huo Lin would not have said such words. Huo Lin, do you need help? Chen Shang placed his hand on Huo Lin's shoulder, and asked seriously. Since Huo Lin called him big brother, he would definitely help Huo Lin repel the enemy if he had the strength now. Of course not, I'm not afraid of that guy, I can defeat him, and this is also one of Earth's core divine spirits tests. Big brother, you don't have to worry about me. Huo Lin smiled at Chen Shang, his heart moved because he was too weak back then. If Chen Shang had not helped him, he would have died in that fire liquid. Therefore, he had always been training very seriously to increase his own strength. Then you better be careful. If it doesn't work, use this jade tablet to contact them. If you say you're Huo Lin, then there's someone to help you. Chen Shang gave her a message talisman that allowed her to practice on LV Kilian. LV Kilian's current strength was very strong, comparable to a third-rank divine king. Huo Lin nodded, and then sent them off with his eyes. After returning to the Hundreds of Flowers village, all the girls in the ring had come out. Seeing that they had become so strong, Chen Shang was a lot more at ease. We have already forged a dark jade ring and a transmission array plate that has entered the center of the earth. Shui Shenxian laughed. In the future, we can also go to the Earth's core and use the time formation to cultivate. Chen Shang nodded. Although there was only one set of time formation, Chen Shang had copied them all using his Six Realms mirrors, and he would be able to activate the time formation through the Six Realms mirrors in the future. The Nine Heaven world and the Nine Heaven world are preparing to merge. The space is currently very weak. I think I can directly teleport to the super god realm myself. Chen Shang looked to the sky. Back then, I promised Xiao Yulan that I would return the Six Realms ding to her. Xiao Baifeng said, I want to go with you as well. Originally, Chen Shang wanted to let Xiao Baifeng go with him, but he shook his head. No need for now, it's better if you stay here for the time being. Chen Shang said, Uaa and I will go. I just need to give her the Six Realms ding, then her strength will greatly increase, and I don't need your help either. And since you are in the Hundreds of Flowers village, your strength is considered relatively strong, so you need to stay here. Alright, if anything happens, come back and tell me. Xiao Baifeng sighed. She knew the situation of the Hundreds of Flowers village as well. If the Nine Heaven world fused with the Super God realm, then there was a possibility that there would be a conflict with the powers in the upper echelons of the Super God realm. Therefore, the Hundreds of Flowers village needed powerful warriors to watch over them. Xiao Baifeng was the stronger one amongst the War God squads, so it would be safer for her to stay here. Then I will leave first. I should be back soon, or it could be said that the Nine Heaven world has already fused with the Super God realm, so it would be more convenient to travel back and forth. Chen Shang said. After bidding farewell to the girls, Chen Shang teleported out of the Hundreds of Flowers village and went directly to the outside of the Heavenly Divine Palace. Now, he realized that Chen Shang had become very strong, and was extremely shocked, because the last time he had seen Chen Shang, it was only recently. Chen Shang followed Zhu Kanghai into a secret room. Did he use the time formation? Zhu Kanghai asked. Yes, this time formation was also left behind by your father. Chen Shang laughed. I didn't expect you to see through it so easily, big brother Kanghai. You're pretty amazing. To be able to use that kind of time formation here, you need a lot of energy to maintain it. Did you enter the Earth's core? Zhu Kanghai understood all of this very well. He could understand it just by thinking about it. Yes, Chen Shang nodded, and then took out the heavenly magic sword that had its sword tip cut off. Big brother Kanghai, is this sword the one that belongs to Heavenly Divine Lord? When Zhu Kanghai saw this broken heavenly magic sword, he lamented and then received it with trembling hands. This is the heavenly magic sword, those girls are truly amazing. They actually discovered this secret, and even reorganized it. Back then, my royal father had separated this place and forged a few different kinds of divine weapons. He also did not want this heavenly magic sword to appear again, because this heavenly magic sword meant that he had fallen. Zhu Kanghai returned the heavenly magic sword to Chen Shang. This has long been yours, you don't need to return it to me. Even though royal father doesn't want this sword to see the light of day again, I still hope that you can repair it. Chen Shang nodded his head, and said, even though the tip of the sword has been broken, this sword is still very powerful. It's hard to imagine. When the time comes, there will be a bloody storm. Fortunately, all my friends in Nine Heaven School are working very hard, so I think that I will definitely be able to rebuild the Nine Heavens divine nations. Zhu Kanghai was already full of confidence now. He smiled slightly. You aren't the only one who has the time formation, the things that my royal father created back then are very powerful. Chen Shang smiled and said, Big brother Kanghai, it seems like you no longer need my help. Zhu Kanghai laughed openly. It was obvious that he had made his preparations, because the divine nations was currently in a civil war. When the time came, it would also be his chance. Chen Shang left the heavenly divine palace, and then went to the Nine Heaven School to find Ji Yu Dongchen. He came to this place to find Huang Jintian but he found out that they had already left a long time ago. They probably went to the super god realm. These two old fellows must be thinking about the treasures in the divine nations. Chen Shang laughed, then used a strong power of space to open a passage to the super god realm. A lad, do you want to come with me for a walk? Chen Shang asked with a smile. I'm not going, it won't be long before we merge. I think it's better for me to stay here. This place has more time, so I have more time to prepare. Ji Yu Dongchen laughed, young senior uncle, have a safe trip. Chen Shang nodded and entered the spatial passageway to arrive at super god realm. Shui Yi, Qi Shi and the four guardian divine beasts are here, they must also have their own plans, so for the time being, I don't want to look for them. That's what's important. Quote. Chen Shang looked at the blue sky, took out his 6 realms mirrors and stood on top of it. Do you remember the direction? The last time he went to the Divine Cauldron Nation, he rode on Huang Yantian's flying divine tool, and didn't remember the way either. On his way back, he asked for Huang Jintian and the others to open a spatial tunnel. Of course I remember, but if the two of us work together, we can teleport to the Divine Cauldron Star. Yu flew out from the ring and said. That would be for the best. How should we do it? Chen Shang did not know the location of the Divine Cauldron Star. Chapter 2195. Yue squatted on top of Chen Zhang's palm, and said, you just need to release the power of space, leave the rest to me to control. Chen Shang did as he was told, releasing a very strong spatial energy which was completely absorbed by Yue. Yue had also been practicing the time formation with the girls for the past few years, so Chen Shang had no idea how strong she was right now. It's begun. Just as she finished speaking, Chen Shang immediately felt that his position had changed. All right, Yue laughed and said, however, we are outside the divine tripod city and we don't know what's going on inside. That's why I didn't go in. Chen Shang looked at the tall city walls. They were still in perfect condition and the formation had not been damaged, so it did not seem like they had experienced any great battle. It hasn't been long here. Chen Shang asked. It's about the same as Nine Heaven World, because Nine Heaven World and this dimensional space are gradually approaching. Yue replied, it should have been like this for the past 15 days. It's reasonable to say that the battle has already begun. When Chen Shang arrived at the city gate, he discovered that there was no one guarding it, which made his heart skip a beat. Normally, this kind of situation would happen because the city had already been thrown into chaos and there was no one guarding the gate even when they escaped. There doesn't seem to be anyone inside. Let's go in and see what's going on. At this time, she had also entered the ring. Chen Shang had changed his appearance, otherwise, it would be troublesome. After entering the city gate, Chen Shang saw that it was empty, although it was not destroyed, but it looked very strange. The originally spacious and lively street was now empty. The shops that were split in half had their doors wide open, and all the people had left. Look over there, Yu said. Chen Shang turned his head to look, only to see that there was purple smoke coming out from the center of the city. He frowned, that is the direction of the Imperial Nine Palace, they really started fighting. Just as he said that, a berserk chi wave suddenly struck Chen Shang, causing all the stone buildings in the distance to crumble. The chi wave was like a huge wave, it struck fiercely and the buildings were extremely weak in front of the chi wave, they were instantly crushed into powder. Chen Shang immediately found a crack in the air and hid himself inside, avoiding this wave of air. Although he could block it too, it would still take a lot of effort for him to do so. After this shock wave, he came out of the space crack and was shocked. The huge walls of the divine tripod city had disappeared, and the originally neat and beautiful buildings had also disappeared. In the blink of an eye, the place had turned into a wasteland and even the Imperial Nine Palace had disappeared. The work of a first-tier celestial king. It should be a battle between first-tier celestial kings, and only those with 90 divine deity would have such power. Yu said. She wasn't really surprised, because when she was in Star Law Divine Realm, this kind of battle was not rare. Chen Shang frowned. Everything within 1,000 miles radius has been destroyed, no wonder everyone in this city left. If they did not leave, many people would have died just now. Is this interesting? The entire divine tripod imperial city was destroyed, and the Grand Imperial Nine Palace was destroyed. Yu shook her head and said, they fought like this for the divine nations as treasures. It doesn't matter how many treasures there are in this divine cauldron imperial city, they would definitely not care. There's someone ahead. Yu suddenly shouted. Chen Shang raised his head to look, 2 figures suddenly flying past, with 8 people chasing after them. It's Shang Hongdao and Xiao Ping. To think that they were being chased. Could it be that the ripples from earlier were caused by them? Chen Shang was very shocked, and Yue was the same. Shang Hongdao and Xiao Ping were neutral, although they had indicated long ago that they would not participate in this battle, they did not expect that they would be tired from it and would even be surrounded. Let's use the space wind to give them a look. It seems like the situation is very different from what I expected. Yu said. He was also very nervous at the moment, because the people he was following were definitely very strong. If not, he wouldn't have let a pill god of Shang Hongdao's level of strength escape in a sorry state. Where's Xiao Yulan? She doesn't even have a great national master, and this Shang Hongdao is a very powerful great national master. If she was beaten to the point of fleeing, Xiao Yulan would be in an even worse situation. Chen Shang was worried, such a huge change had happened in such a short amount of time. Chen Shang followed him using the space wind. He wondered if he would look outside and at the same time, use the Dao Heart Eye to pay attention to the energy undulations in front of him. Another ultimate move. Chen Shang suddenly saw that in front, Shang Hongdao had condensed a ball of purple energy. After releasing the energy, he flattened a large mountain range as an attack against the people chasing after him. After Shang Hongdao released this move, he disappeared without a trace together with Xiao Ping. He's gone. At this time, Chen Shang did not dare to use his spatial sensing domain, because at this moment, the 8 experts floating in the air were all carefully searching for Xiao Ping and Shang Hongdao. Yue said. As expected, these guys all have 90 or above divine deity. No wonder why when Shang Hongdao wanted to escape, there were 4 great national masters amongst them. Why would Shang Hongdao and Xiao Ping be attacked by them together? Chen Shang shook his head. At this moment, he was hiding inside a spatial crack and sent a sound transmission to Yue. Can you find Shang Hongdao and Xiao Ping? Of course, I'll take you there. Now, Yue was using the space wind, and had secretly left with Chen Shang. After a while, Yue brought Chen Shang far away from that place, and could be considered to be the other end of Divine Cauldron Star. There was a small village there. The villagers were all simple and honest, and all of them were ordinary people. Only a few of them had cultivation bases. When Chen Shang appeared here, he heard someone whispering to him. What's going on today? Hearing these words, Chen Shang and Yue confirmed that Shang Hongdao and Xiao Ping were here. After asking around, they found out that Shang Hongdao and Xiao Ping were at the village entrance. It was obvious that Shang Hongdao knew the village chief. When Chen Shang arrived at the village chief's small courtyard, he sensed a very strong barrier, but he still went up and knocked on it. As the village head home, Chen Shang asked. Very soon, someone opened the door. It was an old man with disheveled hair. I am the village chief. You must be a foreigner. Is there something wrong? The village chief was on his guard. Am I, Xiao Ping, inside? Chen Shang asked again. My name is Chen Shang, I have something to talk to him about. He purposely said it very loudly just now, so that Xiao Ping inside would hear. Sure enough, Xiaoping very quickly walked to the door. In order to dispel Xiaoping's suspicions, Chen Shang had changed back to his own appearance, and was then pulled into the small courtyard by Xiaoping. Chapter 2196. After entering, Chen Shang saw a pale Shang Hongdao, who was currently recuperating by the side of a well. The well looked extremely complicated, actually releasing waves of golden mist for him to absorb. "Greetings, Senior." Chen Shang immediately bowed. Shang Hongdao nodded his head. Both he and Xiaoping were very surprised that Chen Shang had returned so quickly. No one else followed. Shang Hongdao's voice was very low, he was currently very weak. "Senior, don't worry, the people who are chasing after you are still searching for you there." Chen Shang said. "Just what happened? Weren't you guys neutral? Don't get involved." Xiaoping said angrily, "That group of people actually conspired to deal with us long ago. They were worried that my master would help me snatch the throne away, so they attacked us instead. There were a total of 4 first-rate divine kings and 4 great national masters, and they did not plan to take the throne. HMPH, this group of bastards, even if they run to Star Law Divine Realm, I will not let them off, they actually sneak attacked us." Shang Hongdao's voice was cold. A huge battle had already occurred in the Imperial Nine Palace. 2 first-tier divine kings died, and several great national masters died as well, all because of the joint attack of these 8 fellows. As for the royal sisters, they were the first to be harmed. Xiaoping said. "Oh right, Chen Shang, you should be staying in your 9-heaven world. Coming here is too dangerous." At this time, Xiaoping already saw Chen Shang as a friend. "Those people are really concerned about your heavenly alchemy. Once they obtain the treasures of the divine nations, you will be in trouble. I'm not afraid of them. I'm in the divine cauldron star right now, but they don't even know I'm here." Chen Shang laughed and asked, "Prince Ping, do you know where Princess Yulan is?" Xiaoping looked at Shang Hongdao, who nodded at him. "We only know that she is inside the beast wasteland. At that time, they escaped inside, and those fellows did not dare to chase after them." Xiaoping said, "It's very dangerous inside. You have to go find her." "Well, I have to find her." Chen Shang nodded. "Can you tell me where Beast Wasteland is?" Xiaoping then told Chen Shang the specific location and even briefly explained the situation inside. It was truly a very dangerous place, where many powerful beasts gathered. In the past, many of the stronger beasts had been forced into desperation by the humans, and in the end, they all hid in a dangerous place, and after a long time, they became places where divine beasts hid, so there were very powerful divine beasts inside. "What are your plans now?" Chen Shang asked. "For now, I don't know. Let's talk after my injuries have healed." Shang Hongdao took a few more golden pellets. Although he was heavily injured, he was still a strong pill god. "I might be going to the Star Law Divine Realm. How is the current situation in the Divine Cauldron Nation?" Xiaoping sighed helplessly. Right now, Chen Shang couldn't help them in any way, so he could only comfort them with a few words before leaving the village to look for Xiao Yulan. The change in the Divine Cauldron Nation is truly fast. What exactly is the treasure deposit in that divine nations? It actually made them so insane that they didn't even want the throne anymore. Chen Shang was very curious about this. "I wonder how it was decided. It can't be that it's enough to win, right?" Uaa was also very curious about this. "We'll know when we find Princess Yulan." Chen Shang used the space wind and after an hour, he arrived at a large desert. This is the Beast Wasteland. It looks very desolate and lifeless. Chen Shang floated into the air and looked towards the distance, but he did not see anything green. He then used his Dao Heart Eye and saw a ball of black qi, but he did not know what it was. Chen Shang took out a message talisman and sent a message to Xiao Yulan. This would require a certain amount of distance to send it to him, so he decided to give it a try first to see if there was enough distance. "Princess Yulan, the 6 realms ding has already been repaired. Where are you?" After Chen Shang sent the message, he patiently waited for them to come out. If they could come, that would be for the best, so he wouldn't have to go in. Not long later, the communication jade symbol paper began to sway. "We're inside the Beast Wasteland, but you must not come in. This side is very dangerous. We'll talk about it after we leave." Xiao Yulan's voice carried a trace of excitement, because the 6 realms ding was her only chance to counterattack. "When will you come out?" Chen Shang asked. "I still don't know. Just wait patiently," Xiao Yulan replied. Chen Shang frowned, and said, "Tell me where you are, I will go in to look for them, and if they are slow, what happens if they obtain the divine nations' treasure?" You are too weak. If you enter, you will die. Although Xiao Yulan knew that the time in Nine Heaven World was different from the time in here, he still didn't think that Chen Shang would be that powerful. Princess Yulan, trust me. Chen Shang didn't have anything to be afraid of. Using the space wind, it would be too easy for him to enter, and he felt that it would be faster for him and Yue to go in and bring them out. Okay, after you enter, you must first find a river, and then follow this river all the way down to an oasis. Okay, after you enter, you must first find a river, and then continue to follow this river, and then go along with it. You must be careful of those spiderwebs, the strongest of which is a group of spiders. I know. Chen Shang used the heaven tour and then used a spatial teleportation to send this divine soul deep into the beast wasteland. In just a few moments, this divine soul found that piece of ancient forest, and the trees inside were all extremely huge. Is this the place? Let's go. After Chen Shang found Yue, he hugged her and used the space wind. He was about to take out the jade talisman to pass on the message when he suddenly saw a graceful woman quickly walking past in front of him. Behind her was a wildly laughing man chasing after her. It's the imperial concubine Lian. Chen Shang was shocked in his heart, and then, he shouted loudly, Imperial concubine Lian, I am Chen Shang. Imperial concubine Lian was running frantically when she suddenly heard Chen Shang. She immediately looked over, and saw that Chen Shang was smiling and waving at her. At the same time, she was getting further and further away from Chen Shang, because of her fast speed. This little idiot, did he become stupid after staying with Jin'er for too long, yelling out loud in this place? Imperial concubine Lian cursed in his heart. Sure enough, just as she was worried, the big-sized man who was chasing her, immediately rushed towards Chen Shang after hearing his voice. Chapter 2197. Seeing Imperial concubine Lian coming over, Chen Shang laughed and shouted, Imperial concubine Lian, you're not dead yet. I'm so worried. If a beauty like you died, my heart would really ache for her. Imperial concubine Lian immediately scolded. You bastard, you still have the face to say that I'm going to be killed by you, you little bastard. Don't yell at me in this place. Chen Shang immediately teleported to the side of the Imperial concubine Lian. Then, he wrapped one arm around the Imperial concubine Lian's slender waist and teleported to a place far away. Chen Shang had cultivated up to 15 spatial divine deity, so this kind of short teleportation was completely easy for him. She did not expect Chen Shang to become so powerful now, to be able to control the power of space so freely. Now that she was being embraced by Chen Shang with her slender waist, she felt that Chen Shang had no intention of letting go, and that hand seemed to be moving slightly, as if he was eating her tofu. Little devil, Imperial concubine Lian snorted. Hurry up and release me. Chen Shang leaned close to her charming face and fiercely kissed it. Imperial concubine Lian immediately shouted, that guy is here. Chen Shang brought Imperial concubine Lian and teleported to a large tree, then concealed his presence. Now that Imperial concubine Lian was in his arms, he could really laugh. Imperial concubine Lian only struggled a little. She did not dare make any big movements, as she was afraid of alerting the divine beast that had transformed into a burly man. Damn brat, you're really reckless. Imperial concubine Lian scolded with a sound transmission and then touched the place where she was kissed by Chen Shang just now. You scoundrel, have you ever tried to kill Jin'er? The Imperial concubine Lian looked at Chen Zhang's face that was full of evil smiles and asked him with a voice transmission. Didn't you marry Jin'er to me? She's already my wife, and I can do whatever I want with her. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly, then pinched her charming face that was filled with grief. The Imperial concubine Lian pouted and let out a light snort, but what happened next was unexpected to her, was that Chen Shang actually dared to forcefully kiss her little mouth. Don't think so badly of me. Your daughter is currently very happy. I can't have any bad thoughts towards a pure and innocent girl like her. As for you, elder sister, you are always making it hard for me to control you. Chen Shang smiled mischievously, and then, he grabbed Imperial concubine Lian's small hand and gently stroked it. Imperial concubine Lian only pouted his lips and did not resist. The big-sized man below lost the scent of Chen Shang and Imperial concubine Lian and had no idea where they were. He let out a few furious roars and ran in a certain direction. What is this? After Chen Shang finished speaking, he once again kissed Imperial concubine Lian's cheeks. Imperial concubine Lian merely thumped his chest once, and did not say much. That's a divine beast. It's very powerful, with 80 divine deity. After Yulan found out that you were here, she told me to look for you. After Imperial concubine Lian was put down by Chen Shang and left Chen Zhang's embrace, she actually felt that Chen Shang hugging her really comfortably just now. She really wanted to be hugged like this by Chen Shang. It's a good thing that I didn't attack him earlier, otherwise I definitely wouldn't have been able to beat him. Chen Shang had indeed wanted to help just now. I'm not completely afraid of this thing, but because there are too many of these divine beasts with 70 to 80 divine deity here. If I attract a group, I'll die for sure. The Imperial concubine Lian giggled. I didn't think that you would have so many tricks up your sleeve, you actually have such a powerful spatial power. So you're saying that Sister Imperial concubine Lian is very powerful too. To actually not be afraid of these divine beasts with 80 divine deity. Chen Zhang's face was filled with surprise, and then, he caressed Imperial concubine Lian's smooth jade-like face. Of course, Big Sister is amazing. If you dare bully me again in the future, I won't be lenient anymore. Imperial concubine Lian felt that he had suffered a little as he reached out to pinch Chen Zhang's handsome face. Let's go find Princess Yulan. Where is she? Chen Shang laughed. A big hand was already placed on the Imperial concubine Lian's waist. The Imperial concubine Lian told Chen Shang the approximate distance between them and he teleported to the side of a huge tree. The trees here were all very thick, like pillars that reached the sky. If they were hollowed out, each tree would become a tall building. It's inside this tree. Imperial concubine Lian held Chen Zhang's hand and walked to the side of the tree. After activating an array pattern appeared on the surface of the tree trunk. Soon after, Imperial concubine Lian dragged Chen Shang into the tree trunk. Inside was a spacious hall, where Xiao Yulan was sitting in the middle of the hall. When she saw an Imperial concubine Lian enter, she immediately stood up and asked in shock, "Why are you two so fast?" Chen Shang looked around, only seeing Xiao Yulan and Xiao Honk in the hall. Adding Imperial concubine Lian, there were only 3 of them. Xiao Yulan, such a huge power, actually only had the 3 of them remaining. Princess Yulan, Chen Shang greeted. I'm not some princess anymore. Even the divine cauldron nation is gone. Xiao Yulan was a little haggard now, and sighed. Right now, she looked a little down and out. Her clothes weren't that gorgeous anymore. Although she didn't have the aura of an emperor, she still gave off an elegant and noble feeling. The 6 realms ding has already been repaired. I wonder what secret the divine cauldron Supreme Lord has left inside. Chen Shang handed over a small bronze cauldron to Xiao Yulan. When Xiao Yulan received the 6 realms ding, her lily-white hands lightly trembled. Royal Father left this precious thing with me, what exactly did he do it for? Based on your strength, the Venerable One is definitely not mine. Quote. Previously, she wasn't too clear about the origins of this cauldron, but Chen Shang was the one who told her about it later on, so she now knew just how powerful this cauldron was. Drop some blood and see. Chen Shang replied, this is a great way of the god equipment, so dripping blood might not be effective. Xiao Yulan nodded his head, and started dripping a drop of blood on top of the 6 realms ding. The divine cauldron suddenly flickered with a green light, and released a ray of green light that shot into Xiao Yulan's forehead, as though it was transmitting a message. A moment later, the brilliance from the divine furnace vanished. Princess, did you fuse with a 6 realms ding? Xiao Honk asked anxiously. This 6 realms ding was their hope of turning the tables around. Yes, but, this fusion is not a true fusion. Although I can use this 6 realms ding, I am unable to unleash its true power, which means to say that the 6 realms ding does not approve of me, but due to some sort of emotion, he will give me strength. Xiao Yulan sighed. As expected, I am not worthy to be called an emperor. Chen Shang asked again, is there anything about the Heavenly Divine Lord? Xiao Yulan nodded. Yes, the secret about Heavenly Divine Lord's broken divine sword was not leaked out by my royal father, it was, our divine cauldron nation's first prince, Xiao Yuanbing. Because when my royal father went there, he brought him with me, so he didn't tell Heavenly Divine Lord about this matter. Quote. Later on, he also felt very guilty, but he really loved Xiao Yuanbing, so he didn't punish her. The reason why Xiao Yuanbing leaked this information, was because of the enmity that Zhu Kanghai had defeated him back then. Quote. Chapter 2198. This is really complicated. Chen Shang frowned. I don't know if I should tell Big Brother Kanghai about this. If he knew, he would definitely blame himself. I hope he can get away with it. After all, Xiao Yuanbing has hated the 9th Heaven's divine nations for a long time, and it was not because of Zhu Kanghai. Xiao Yulan said. And Xiao Yuanbing is also my enemy now. Xiao Hong coldly snorted, "It's this bastard who attacked us so heavily." Now that they have teamed up, a total of 4 forces have joined hands. They are the first-class Celestial King and the Great National Master. Xiao Ping and Shang Hongdao have also been attacked, and are already heavily injured. Chen Shang said, "I was able to find this place because of what Shang Hongdao and the others told me. This is not strange." They were also worried that Shang Hongdao had other plans, but just in case, they decided to make their move on Shang Hongdao. Shang Hongdao is indeed the strongest state Grand Master, yet he actually managed to bring Xiao Ping along to escape after receiving a joint attack from the 8 of them. Xiao Yulan kept the 6 realms Divine Palace well and asked, "Did the Divine Cauldron Imperial City receive heavy injuries?" "There are no more Divine Tripod Imperial City and Imperial 9 Palace." Chen Shang said as he gave a bitter laugh, "Those guys don't care about the throne at all, they only care about the Divine Nations' treasures. They plan to go to the Star Law Divine Realm together after dividing up the treasures. It's fine if the Divine Cauldron Nation doesn't exist, but there's no need for this kind of Divine Nations. It's fine if it's eliminated." When Xiao Yulan was being attacked together, she hated the Divine Cauldron Nation. All these years, she had been living in this kind of oppressive environment, and if she did not keep her heart and mind safe, she would have become a kind of evil demon that would kill people without blinking an eye. "I don't want the Divine Nations as treasures either, but I can't let those bastards get even a single drop." Xiao Yulan said, "Even if we die, we can't let them succeed." "That's right, big sister Yulan. How in the world did he obtain the Divine Nations' treasure? What was in it, and according to what criteria?" Chen Shang was extremely confused by this. "I'm not sure what's inside the Divine Nations' treasure trove, but those great national master must know. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so desperate." Xiao Yulan said, "The secret to the Divine Nations' treasure trove is hidden in the Imperial 9 Palace's Imperial Palace, which is also the dragon throne that Royal Father often sits on. However, the dragon throne can only be taken away after a certain time, and that was also the time when the battle broke out, and it is already in their hands, if not they would not dare to destroy the Imperial 9 Palace." Chen Shang said, "Then is there still hope now?" Imperial concubine Lian laughed, "Do you want it too?" "Of course I want to. There must be something good inside. It's better that I get it than those guys." Chen Shang suddenly thought of Huang Jintian and Huang Yantian. If they were here, maybe he could let them think things through. When he thought about Huang Jintian and the others' heaven extended method, Chen Shang looked at the charming imperial concubine Lian. This imperial concubine Lian was one of them, and one of them was a sky spill master. In other words, the calculation abilities of the imperial concubine Lian were not bad. Imperial concubine Lian, you should be able to calculate where the Divine Nations' treasure deposit is, right? Now that Sister Yulan has a complete 6 realms ding, her power must have risen by a lot. There won't be a problem in dealing with those guys. Chen Shang said, "Who knows, maybe we will still have a chance to obtain that treasure deposit. Of course, if you don't give it to me, I won't have any objections. I'm just curious about what's inside." Xiao Yulan looked at Imperial concubine Lian, as if she was considering whether or not she should let Imperial concubine Lian calculate the location of the Divine Nations' treasure. If she really did get it, she wouldn't refuse to give it to Chen Shang. "I'll listen to Yulan." Imperial concubine Lian laughed as she stuck out her tongue at Chen Shang, then stood behind him. "I don't know what the treasures are right now, but they are definitely good stuff. Otherwise, those great national master would not have broken the rules." Xiao Yulan said, "I currently don't have any feelings for the Divine Cauldron Nation. After all, my royal father is also like this before he left. If not, he would not have let us fight on purpose. He definitely would have guessed that if we were to fight, we would not be far from the destruction of our country." Yue ran out from the ring and asked, "Is there any news from the other Divine Nations? If the other Divine Nations are also fighting with each other very fiercely, then this is indeed a great opportunity for us." Quote, "Little kitty, what chance are you talking about?" Seeing that Yue was only as big as a palm and that she was so cute, Imperial concubine Lian couldn't help but to ask in a low voice as he reached out to hug her. "Big sister Yulan, if you don't have any feelings for Divine Cauldron Nation, would you like to join another force? If you ally with that power, it will be of great help to you in the future. Furthermore, that place is very united, and there won't be any internal conflicts. Right now, Janur is living very well inside." Chen Shang said. "Is it to join Ju Kanghai?" Xiao Yulan asked. "No, it's a force formed by a woman. It's now called Hundreds of Flowers Village, and all of them are women. Chen Shang said. Right now, they are worried that when the Nine-Heaven world is merged with the Super God realm, they will be attacked by other divine nations or powerful forces. This is because the Nine-Heaven world is extremely vast, and at that time, anyone would want to occupy it. Xiao Yulan thought for a while, then said, I am not sure if I want to join or not. I need to see the leaders of the Hundreds of Flowers village. However, I have decided right now to snatch the divine nations' treasure. Even though I have 93 divine deity, leveling up is already very difficult, and I hope that the divine nations' treasure can help me increase my strength a little. Quote. Xiao Hong said, I have already investigated, and the internal conflict in the other divine nations are also very intense. If we can join another force and quickly rise in power, it would also be a good opportunity. In the future, we would need more resources. Xiao Yulan nodded. Let's talk about this after I've been to the Hundreds of Flowers village. Imperial concubine Lian, try and figure out where the divine nations' treasures are located. Quote. Imperial concubine Lian took out an array disc, which had over 10 circles on it. She turned the circle, and wrote some words on it with her blood that could not be seen. Not long after, many spirit grains on the array disc started to shine with red light. Is this the heaven extended method? Chen Shang asked curiously. Yes, but it's different from those two seniors. They have their own sky spill algorithm, I have mine, but their cultivation methods are all the same. The imperial concubine Lian had a serious expression on her face as she chanted a spell, causing rain to fall. The circle on the round plate also started to spin, and the word, blood, started to form together. An hour later, imperial concubine Lian shouted lightly. The center of the disc suddenly lit up and turned into a huge fireball. It's actually here. Imperial concubine Lian was surprised. Chapter 2199, On the Sun. Xiao Hong did not dare believe it, because it would not be easy to reach the sun. It must be the Earth's core. Yue replied, this is the middle of Divine Cauldron Star. At the heart of these stars, there is a very hot core, and that is the core of the Earth, the root that keeps the Divine Cauldron Star afloat. The energy sources on the Divine Cauldron Star are all from this core. This kitten is so powerful, it actually knows about these things. That place is very dangerous, even if Xiao Yuanbing and the others want to find it, it would not be easy. Quote. Chen Shang had a rather good understanding of Earth core, because Huo Lin was his brother and he had also stayed in Earth core for a lot of time. The greatest danger should be the earthly beast. The Divine Cauldron Star is the Earth stage stars, and the earthly beast is more terrifying, at least 90% of divine deity. Adding the fact that he can control the power of the core, even if the Divine Lord comes, he probably won't be able to do anything to him. But from the looks of it, Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord must have been there before, and his relationship with the earthly beast was not bad, that's why he placed the treasures there. Yu said. What is the background of this kitten? It's not simple at all. Xiao Yulan reached out and rubbed Yue's little head. I am a kitten from Star La Divine Realm, meow meow. Yue called out to Xiao Yulan a few times, telling him that she knew about the Star La Divine Realm, and that she understood him a little because the Star La Divine Realm was a very large world. Originally, there was hope for this place to become a large world like the Star La Divine Realm, but now that the Nine Gods nation had become like this, it would be stagnant for a very long time. Little cat, do you know how to enter the Earth's core? Xiao Hong gently caressed Yue's head and asked with a smile. Entering through the volcano's crater is rather dangerous. One has to have a certain level of strength to do so. Yue replied, however, it should be easier for Princess Yulan to have a 6 realms ding. Then let's go now, head towards the nearest volcano. Xiao Yulan said, I wonder if they have made their move yet. Your royal father definitely knows the fastest way to reach the center of the earth. The imperial concubine Lian said. Let's leave this beast wasteland first, I feel that this place is rather dangerous. Chen Shang said as he used his spatial energy to open up a spatial tunnel, you guys can go in, and leave this place immediately. What a strong power of space, just how long did you train in Nine Heaven World? The Nine Heaven World will merge with this place very soon, the time there should be around the same as here. In such a short period of time, you were able to become so powerful, you must be using the time formation. Xiao Yulan could immediately tell that at this time, Xiao Hong and imperial concubine Lian had already entered the spatial tunnel. Chen Shang smiled and nodded, Sister Yulan, quickly go in. The longer I open it, the more energy I'll consume. Xiao Yulan made a sound, then gently flew in, leaving Yue behind as well. After exiting the spatial tunnel, they arrived outside the beast wasteland, where they could see a desert. I remember there's a volcano nearby. It should be in that direction. Xiao Yulan took out a jade lotus frisbee, turned it into a huge plate, and let Chen Shang and the others up. Chen Shang really wanted to contact Huang Jintian, wanted to know where they were. If he had their help, it would definitely be easier to obtain the divine nations' treasure. The frisbee flew very fast, and before long, they saw the huge volcano. And at this time, Chen Shang and Yue were suddenly shocked, because they felt a spatial fluctuation. Is it starting to merge? Chen Shang looked into the distance. That was the direction where the super god realm was located, and that strong spatial fluctuation was coming from. It should be, but merging will take time, not to mention two spaces of this size. When fusing, the hardest part should be fusing with the Earth's core. Yue said, maybe we won't even be able to completely fuse them by the time we return. The Nine-Heaven world was a world that had just been integrated into. Xiao Yulan and the others were very curious about this newly born and powerful world, they wanted to see how strong this fusion would be. When the frisbee flew to the top of the volcano, Chen Shang and the others looked down. This volcano has not erupted for a long time. If it does not erupt, it will take a lot of energy to go down. How about detonating this volcano? Yue laughed. Let me do it. Imperial concubine Lian's jade palm condensed a ball of blue energy and shot it downwards. That ball of blue light shot down like a beam of light. Xiao Yulan immediately controlled the flying discs to stay far away, and at this time, the volcano erupted into a boom sound, as the entire volcano was enveloped by the blue light. Chen Shang said in shock, Imperial concubine Lian, that volcano was destroyed by you. I didn't think that the power you used would be this pure thunder and lightning energy. Quote. Do you know how amazing I am? Imperial concubine Lian laughed. It's fine, the volcano is gone, but the passage to the center of the earth has already been opened by me. Look, the heat is already coming out. Yue shouted, something has come out. After the blue light disappeared, Chen Shang and the rest only saw balls of fire shooting towards them at breakneck speeds. It's the earth flame bee. Xiao Yulan said seriously, be careful. There were a lot of geocentric fire bees, about 400,000 of them. When they flew over, they were like a burst of violent fire. Xiao Yulan waved her hand, the sky suddenly darkened and dark clouds billowed. Streaks of lightning frantically struck down, and violent lightning that was denser than a torrential rain continued to descend, enveloping an area of 100 li. In an instant, a large area of the geocentric fire bee was chopped into ashes. This was the first time Chen Shang saw Xiao Yulan make a move. Like Imperial concubine Lian, she also used the thunder power. At this moment, the thunder power that she released was extremely terrifying. There's still a lot left. Yu said. Sure enough, a group of them had just been exterminated. A large number of geocentric fire bees had rushed out of that huge lava hole, and their bodies were still dripping with fire. Looks like the source is here. Xiao Yulan gently waved his hand again, summoning a dense wave of lightning that instantly struck down from the sky. The dense lightning covered the entire ground, and the light that flashed out in that instant caused Chen Zhang's eyes to become piercing bright, as he was unable to see anything clearly. He destroyed another wave of the earth flame bee. There should be more. Xiao Yulan frowned. She saw that in the air above the giant hole, a huge whirlpool had appeared, with all the black clouds concentrated there. All of you, get out of my way. Xiao Yulan's clear voice resounded throughout the world, and a gigantic purple bolt of lightning suddenly fell from the vortex, entering the huge hole in the ground. Boom! The earth shook violently, and with the giant hole as the center, cracks of varying sizes appeared in every direction. Magma flowed into the cracks, forming rivers of lava. Chapter 2200. Chen Shang stood behind Xiao Yulan. Just now, he could clearly see how terrifying the hidden strength within this delicate body in front of him was. The core fire bee did not come out again, it had been killed by Xiao Yulan's attack just now. It's quiet now, can we go in now? The Imperial concubine Lian said. This time, when Xiao Yulan took out the 6 realms ding, she made it big. You want to go in? Chen Shang asked. Of course we need to go in, only this 6 realms ding is able to resist the high temperature in the Earth's core, although we don't know what's below, but right now we need to go down to the bottom first before we know. Xiao Yulan had already entered the Six Realms Ding and Imperial concubine Lian and Xiao Honk followed closely behind her. Chen Shang also jumped in. It was pitch black inside. The walls of the cauldron were all made of bronze, with many small spirit grain carved on them, and after he entered, Xiao Yulan released the lid. Inside the pitch black space, Chen Shang took out a glowing stone, making the inside even brighter. Xiao Yulan and the other two girls sat opposite to him, and he was currently staring at the three women's beautiful faces while laughing. Yulan, this little scoundrel is really bad. You have to be careful, I've already suffered before. Imperial concubine Lian giggled. Xiao Yulan controlled the Six Realms Ding to fly to the top of the giant pit, and then sink into the flame essence, entering the center of the earth. Six Realms Ding did not fear high temperatures, and could resist very strong heat temperatures. At this moment, Chen Shang and the others inside the divine cauldron did not feel any heat at all. What exactly is beneath the earth's core? Even though I have heard about it, I have never been there. I once asked my royal father, but he didn't tell me too much, he only told me about the Earth's core and the dangers. Xiao Yulan said. Earth stage stars' core is indeed very dangerous. Although I have been to the core, every core is different. Some core is just a world, while some core is just darkness. However, the core of the stars all have a common characteristic, which is that they are wrapped in this shell, so it looks like a big fireball. Uaa said. The core of Divine Cauldron stars should already have earthly beast. If Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord truly has put the treasure deposit here, then it means that he is very strong. Quote. Chen Shang had also been to the core of the earth before, but he felt that the core of the earth he was currently heading to was different from the core of the Nine Heaven World, so he didn't say anything more. The core of Nine Heaven World had an earth core realm, he felt that this Divine Cauldron star should have one too. Earthly beasts were all bred by the Earth's core divine spirit, then who exactly are the Earth's core divine spirits? To think that a powerful earthly beast would be born from so many Earth core. Chen Shang had asked Huo Lin before, but Huo Lin wasn't sure either. He only knew that the Earth's core divine spirit was very powerful. I don't know either, this has always been a mystery. Uaa shook her head. The speed of the descent is very fast now, and it's getting hotter. I wonder when I'll be able to reach the Earth's core. Xiao Yulan herself was connected to the Six Realms Ding, so she could sense the change in the environment outside. Xiao Yuanbing and the rest must have already set out. If they are faster than us, then they must have met with Earthly Beast first. If they can't even deal with the Earthly Beast together, we can't do anything about it. Xiao Yulan took out 2 pills and gave it to Chen Shang. What is this? Chen Shang took a whiff. Although there was a scent of medicine, he could not recognize what kind of divine pill it was. Xiao Yulan chuckled. Such a powerful alchemist like you can't recognize this divine pellet. This was even a mind pill, a superior pill. I got you to make it for the Imperial Advisor. Eat 1 pellet that can last for 10 days. Quote. So it was even the mental energy pill. Chen Shang also had this kind of divine pill formula. Back then, Feng Yuji had gotten this from the Dan Hart Pavilion, but he did not refine it. How far can it be maintained? After Chen Shang received them, he dripped his blood on the 2 conjoined mind pills. Only by dripping blood on each other could a heart-to-heart connection be formed. After dripping his blood, he gave 2 mind pellets to Xiao Yulan, who also dripped blood on them. This is a type in Dan, not limited to space. However, the medicinal effect is limited, and can only be sustained for 10 days. Xiao Yulan said. Let's eat them now, just in case something happens, we can use this method to communicate. Chen Shang said, it's only been 10 days, isn't that a bit too short? Can you get more? I need to maintain it for a bit longer. Quote. Alright, I still have 18 pills, and we'll each drip blood on them. When the time comes, we'll each have 10 pills, and can last for 100 days. That should be enough, Xiao Yulan said. Chen Shang nodded, then started to drip blood. He was also worried that something might happen in the depths of the earth. After all, this was the core of the Earth stage stars, and there were still 8 experts with at least 99 divine deity inside. Chen Shang and Xiao Yulan both consumed a spirit pill respectively. Right now, they only needed to think about it and they could tell each other what they wanted to say. We're ready to go to the end. Xiao Yulan did not know why, but he suddenly tensed up. Weird, it's not hot down there. Not hot. Uaa hurriedly asked, are you still feeling a little cold? Yes, you can sense it. Xiao Yulan nodded. It's over. Weird, the lifespan of Earth stage stars should not be so short, The energy inside its inner core actually ran out. That means this divine cauldron star will become a dead star before long. Yu Er's voice was very serious. Generally speaking, this kind of state of the Earth's core is quite dangerous. The reason for this is that the inner core is compressing itself. It's just like how a core formation stage is compressing a huge amount of energy together. Quote. Right now, this is the situation in the Earth's core. Yue looked at Chen Shang. You should know how dangerous this is. Chen Shang took a deep breath. When the core was compressed to a certain degree, it could no longer continue, and would explode. The entire divine cauldron star will be blown up. Quote. Yes, Yue said. But divine cauldron star is a very young Earth stage stars, they shouldn't die so quickly. There must be a reason behind it. Can we go out now? Imperial concubine Lian asked. Xiao Yulan closed her eyes, and through her own practice with the divine cauldron, she was able to sense the situation outside. Not long later, she opened her eyes and said, that's enough, outside is darkness, and it is extremely spacious. Yue asked, the inner core is missing. Even if it were to compress itself, the inner core would definitely release its aura. Xiao Yulan shook his head. This place is completely dark, other than a little cold, there's no other aura. What a strange core. Let's go out and take a look. Yu Er said.